it's either working with you or against you. Jimmy Johnson is a master of the moment.
Point clear, Jimmy Johnson spun.
Catch your breath, bud. We got plenty of time.
He turns adversity into triumph.
Look who's coming, Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Superman, he woke up.
And gains momentum with every lap.
You've been driving your butt off. You can do this, man. You can do this.
For a challenger, time is running out. And a chase full of expectation is yielding to doubt.
I'm really being pretty conservative right now. Just trying to save all I can. We'll be fine.
Today, they race at Martinsville. A driver's track that has stood the test of time.
This little racetrack will wear you out.
Where speed is sacrificed for an ability to maneuver within the bottleneck. With 5 races left, it's time for a risk, for a bold move, for a defining moment. And there's no time like the present.
Listen to me, guys. When it's time to go, we got to go.
Time, certainly an appropriate theme for this day, as ESPN welcomes you to NASCAR Countdown for Race 6 in the chase for the Sprint Cup from the Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. It is a track that stood the test of time. This little half-mile tucked alongside Highway 220 in South Central Virginia has hosted races for NASCAR's top series since 1949. And for those who grind out 500 laps in the shortest amount of time, a beautiful timepiece awaits. The Ridgewood grandfather clock given to the winner, coveted by generations of drivers, earned by only one today. The other trophy that's part of the discussion is the Sprint Cup Championship Trophy. A look at the standings beginning the 6th of 10 races in the chase shows Jimmy Johnson leading Denny Hamlin by 41 points, with Kevin Harvick 77 points back in 3rd. You see the starting positions of those 3, with Hamlin on the pole, Johnson mid-pack, and Harvick way in the back. The day holds a lot of different possibilities where the championship is concerned. Well, the infield sure is full, so we keep our ESPN pit studio outside the track, but still very close to the action, overlooking Turn 2 and really the entire Martinsville Speedway. Inside, we welcome you in. Alan Bestwick with 7-time Martinsville winner Rusty Wallace and team owner Big Brad Doherty. He'll be like a jack-in-the-box looking at the action out the back window all day long today. It's the paperclip, little tight half-mile with flat corners, but why is the shortest and slowest track on the circuit one of the toughest on a driver and on a car?
There's a lot of stuff to watch. A lot of stuff goes on at this racetrack, Alan. I mean, as a driver, you got to watch the brakes. You got to watch the curbs. You got to keep yourself from getting blocked in the pits. I can go on and on and on, but there's a lot of things happening right here. You got to watch your gearbox. You got to keep your fenders on. Keep from hitting cars.
Yeah.
I can go on and on about this track because it's so busy here.
Yeah, a lot of stress on the car as well, you know, not just the driver. You're talking, just like Rusty said, you're talking about brakes, you're talking about motor, you talk about gearing in this race. And one of the most unique things in all of racing, curbing in the corners of this racetrack, which will destroy this race car. But this car has shown to be somewhat resilient in beating and banging, but that curb wins out every time.
Maybe the shortest, maybe the slowest, but it is one of the toughest for sure. This is the 124th race at Martinsville for what is now the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Who else but the King, Richard Petty, has the most wins here. 15 times the King drove to victory. He has a streak of 10 wins out of 14 races.
Ooh, that's pretty strong
in that total. Darrell Waltrip, 11 wins, including a streak. There's that word again. It's a theme here. A streak of 4 out of 5 from 87 through 89. Our man Rusty has 7 wins. Rusty won 5 of 7 from 93 through 96. Jeff Gordon also with 7 wins. He went back-to-back here 3 different times. And with 6 wins overall at Martinsville, some pretty good ones. Dale Earnhardt, Fred Lorenzen, Cale Yarborough, and Jimmy Johnson with a streak of 5 wins in the last 8 races at this track. Rusty, guys going on winning streaks here. You think that's all about a feel they're looking for?
I think it's about a style. I really do. I mean, a rhythm they get going on. I know myself personally, the 7 wins that I had here, there was something I always looked for when I got ready to start the race and then through practice. It was that maneuverability out of my car. Look, it was so important for me to get a car where I would really hook up hard up off the corner, really stick the rear tires really good. And because of that, you heard drivers in the past say, man, I want a real free car. Other racetracks, but But this racetrack, you want a tight car up off the corner, not spinning the tire. So because of that, I got my front end barely turning. I got the front end where it would turn, but not as good as it was hooked up in the back, because I knew to make a pass, I had to be nailed getting up off that corner.
Wasn't necessarily about what you saw on the stopwatch. It was about the feel you were looking for.
Yeah, I don't care about how fast it looked. I want to be fast. No doubt about that. But it was that feel. I had to get that feel.
Well, for an idea of what kind of race we might see today, let's just look back to the last race here at Martinsville on March 29th. Denny Hamlin pits from the lead with 8 laps to go, giving Jeff Gordon the top spot. Hamlin restarts 9th. He gets up to 4th in a lap and a half. Then a caution sets up a green-white checker finish, and it gets crazy.
Great restart. You got Ryan Newman on the outside going around Jeff Gordon. Matt Kenseth goes and dives inside. He and Gordon bump wheels once, twice. Jeff finally gets rid of him down in this corner. Denny Hamlin goes under Jeff Gordon and goes on to charge his way to a victory with Joey Logano sliding up in front of Jeff Gordon.
Man, you should be a play-by-play guy.
So perhaps an indication of the kind of race we'll see here at Martinsville today. Now, one of the big stories of the week in NASCAR racing has been the ongoing Kasey Kahne, Richard Petty Motorsports saga. Kahne was already leaving the team at season's end for Red Bull Racing next year and eventually Hendrick Motorsports. Well, a series of events ranging from a brake failure in last Saturday night's race in Charlotte to reports the team owed him money and called his effort into question eventually led to an early split, with Kahne moving to Red Bull Racing now, while Eric Almirola will drive the 9 car today. Further adding to the mix, reports the RPM team may be in financial difficulty and speculation whether they'll be able to complete the season or not, and the future at Red Bull, where with now Kahne, they have 3 drivers for what the team says will be only 2 cars for next season. The Richard Petty Motorsports story, Brad, what can you add?
Well, you know, my driver, Marcus Ambrose, who's finishing out the year for us, will be in that car, the 9 car, next year. And I know he's waiting. He feels like they're going to be able to fulfill their obligations to him as a driver and to that team next season. They're looking for some more sponsorship, obviously, like we all are. But he feels things should be able to work out. He will know more in the next 7 to 14 days. And the only thing I want to add is I want to go on record about Kasey Kahne. I've watched that young man this year, and he has given 110%. His effort is beyond question, in my opinion, in this incident.
Richard Petty is at the racetrack today. He told reporters this morning that he's been in the sport since 1949. He plans to still be in the sport, but wouldn't comment any further on the future of the RPM team. As for Kasey Kahne, the first drive for the Red Bull team, Dr. Jerry Punch, is going to come from pretty far back in the pack.
Indeed he does, Alan, back in 33rd spot. And Kasey, it has been documented that you were not pleased with some of the things that were happening on race day with the Richard Petty Motorsports Ford. So what precipitated your decision to move away from that 9 car this week?
I think it was just mutual between myself and RPM. You know, it helps them out. I can kind of get started on next season with the Red Bull guys, and it made sense. So it's been a busy week. There's been a lot going on. Thursday we spent the entire day just getting the primary car and the backup car ready with my things in it, seat and stuff like that. And I've had fun with it. The guys have really been enthusiastic and happy and excited, and so have I. So it's been a good week so far.
You know, what kind of goals and expectations have you set now with these Red Bull guys for the final 5 races?
Well, the biggest thing is just to get used to their cars, their equipment, the engines, the Toyota engines. There's a lot of different aspects here now, and just trying to figure out how it all works and how the cars drive differently and how you kind of explain that and go into making the car better. So I felt like we made gains Friday, made gains Saturday. By final practice Saturday, we were a lot better than where we started, and I look forward to today's race. I think we can make some more gains. We have 500 laps. Hopefully we can do some good things and pass a lot of cars today.
Hey, good luck today.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Alan, the irony of ironies. Look behind Kasey Kahne. The car, the hauler he's parked right beside. He was over visiting a moment ago with Robbie Loomis and all the Budweiser guys shaking hands and high-fiving. Still a tremendous amount of respect for him, for that team.
We were laughing about that in here, Doc. It's always how it works out in racing.
Exactly.
They're parked right next to each other at the track this week.
Every time.
All right, coming up, the beating and banging today at Martinsville won't just happen on the track. We'll talk about this tight pit road and how it can impact, literally, a team's chance to win. Drivers and crew chiefs, one can't succeed without the other. We'll pick the brains of some of the most successful about the unique interaction between them in a rather unique way. And Denny and Jimmy, who've won the last 8 straight at Martinsville and are 1-2 in the chase. Will this race become their personal heavyweight slugfest? A big NFC East matchup on ESPN's Monday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys fighting to stay alive. Yes, this early in the season. Gonna play at home against Eli Manning and the New York Giants, who are on a 3-game roll. Can Dallas turn the tide against their rivals? It's Giants-Cowboys on Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's. It is a beautiful Sunday in Martinsville, Virginia. Sunny and upper 70s degree day forecast as fans file in for race 6 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup, anticipating an afternoon of beating and banging action on this tight little half mile. It's often said that the best teams have a driver and crew chief who act like they're married. They can finish each other's sentences, work through the ups and downs of a season, and sometimes fuss and feud a little bit. Well, every now and then they need a little counseling. So we decided to counsel them a little bit.
There's a lot to crew chief and driver relationships that, sometimes we hear on radios, very dysfunctional race teams.
Green flag is in the air.
Let's go have some fun today.
Ask me what's wrong. They're very cranky this weekend.
I'm being every 5 seconds. I'm sideways.
I think the role that the crew chief plays is very similar to that of a head coach.
Go. Man up, boys. Man up.
You've got a lot of egos to manage.
Great, Timmy. Doing great.
Kyle Busch, you're the greatest.
Way to fight all day, man.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your relationship?
What's good? Is 10 good or is 1 good?
I think that you can't really put a number on it. Our relationship it's like a marriage. You're going to have times where they aren't so good.
What's that, guys? This brake sucks. This is the worst car I've ever driven.
There's days that you question, why do you put yourself through this?
Between us, I can talk intelligently, but sometimes on TV, I'm not very intelligent. I might spout off.
I'm still not a very big fan of these things. I can't stand to drive them. They suck.
Kyle will tell you when he's upset. He doesn't sugarcoat it.
We suck, in case you haven't noticed.
Maybe that's a positive. I don't ever have to guess where I stand.
Freaking loose everywhere. Can't coach the stupid thing. You just made a huge change, and it didn't do anything. He does it a little bit at a time there.
There's times he gets frustrated with me. Nobody's perfect. No one's going to be perfect, but you can try your hardest at it.
We're expecting you to be, though.
I'm trying. I'm trying to be perfect.
How does it make you feel to hear him say that?
You like twisting things.
The thing I like about our relationship is that it's a real one. I mean, there's no sugarcoating things.
You've got to be a person that's not afraid to say what needs to be said.
Come on, you guys. Don't need no here. Let's do this.
I think that's probably the thing that Jimmy and I think have better than most. If I see something on the racetrack that I think he should maybe do or try, I'm not afraid to tell him.
Back him up, back him up, back him up. Stop, stop.
I'm sorry, guys. Happy to get your eyes checked this week.
He absolutely is hard on me at times. The thing he hates the most is, I don't know. He does not accept I don't know. And as time goes on, and I understand it and I get it, just sometimes I don't know why, and it pisses him off.
How do you deal with things when they don't go the right way?
Well, God blessed me with Tony Stewart, which prepared me for children. And I've told him that many times. Now I've got 3 children, and now Joey's here, so I am much more patient than I used to be, with things.
When I get mad, I kind of get quiet a lot of times. It might be something that I need to speak up more. Every once in a while, I get fired up a little bit.
Punch that right in the nose.
When things don't go well for me, I snap and try to react and try to fix the problem immediately.
Bumper's loose, Chad. That spoiler bent forward, Ronkin. That spoiler bent forward. Just go until we get ready. Go. Get the out of here.
I think Jimmy is way more mature when things don't go well than I am, for sure.
Don't know why he runs me down as slow as he does every time I'm near him. Wreck him.
I know when Kyle's upset, I don't want to jump on him and make it worse.
All we can do is control what we can control at this point.
You could sit here with a dull attitude on the radio and say the car is tight. Or you can say, man, this thing is just plowing, man. It's just dog tight. We got to work on this thing. Then he knows, okay, well, it's pretty tight.
Need any adjustments? Hell, if I no.
People are like, man, your driver just said that to you. And Dave's like, yeah, so?
I don't feel Kyle's ever demeaning to us.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where's your relationship?
10.
I got to say a 10.
Good job, my friend.
I can't think of another driver, crew chief, team, friendship, relationship out there that's been even close to this.
I love you. Kiss you on the lips.
How often do you hug?
Hug? No, not very often. That's kind of a victory lane only.
Where do you feel your relationship is?
We're going to show everybody where we're at.
Oh, Dave, thank you guys.
Well, it's better because we just got everything out on the table. It's like a shrink session, you know?
Championship driver and crew chief Dale Jarrett and Andy Petrie join us now from the booth where they spend a lot of time together. The best driver-crew chief relationship you ever had in your career, what was it, and why did it work so well? DJ, you first.
Well, let me first say that's a great piece. That was perfect to show what these guys go through. But I'd have to say my time with Todd Parrott. We won about 27 races together, a championship. We were in each other's heads. We literally spent day and night together, and that's what you have to do. But I think the thing that made it work the most, and I think that makes most of these relationships and partnerships work, is respect. You have to respect the crew chief and know that he's working as hard as he possibly can, and that's the way that Todd Parrott was. He just worked endless hours. And as a driver, I wanted him to respect that I was giving everything that I possibly had. So that's what you have to do together. You spend more time together than you do with your family a lot of the time, and so it has to be a good relationship.
Well, as for my career, obviously the relationship I had with Dale Earnhardt Sr. was the most successful. Won a lot of races together, but it didn't start out that great. I mean, we really butted heads the first few races, almost quit. I mean, it was really that bad. And so Childress brings me and Earnhardt in there in his office, and he said, look here, you guys are going to start bonding. That's what he said. He said, you guys have to get out here and start where you like each other, spend some time with each other. And so Earnhardt took the lead on that, and he started calling me. He'd call me, he said, look, we're going to go to dinner tonight. Come on, let's go. So, you know, we did that the first weekend was at Darlington. We went to dinner, and he kind of forced the bonding. But it really worked. I mean, it made us close friends later on in our relationship, and we won a lot of races and championships together. So, you know, it really did work that we got along really good together. Matter of fact, we won that race at Darlington after our first bonding session.
There you go. So you lead my next question, Andy, which is, do you have to be friends? Do you have to be social? And how do you keep it working long term?
I don't think you have to be friends. I think that the communication has to be there, for no doubt. But you don't have to be friends. I know I was with Harry Gant for a few years. We had some good years together too, and we weren't necessarily close friends off the track, but we still got along and respected each other very well.
Yeah, I think that you definitely. It's not that you have to, just like you say, but I think it certainly helps if you're on the same page throughout a lot of times. So you need to be ready to be pretty good friends, but you don't have to agree all the time. But that's what helps get through the relationship.
All right, gentlemen, we still have those chairs if you need someplace to go and talk things out, and we'll talk to you a little later on for the race. Another story to watch today. Kevin Harvick, in response to his team struggling on pit road a bit recently, this week Richard Childress swapped the pit crews of the 29 and 33 teams. So the guys that were pitting Clint Boyer now find themselves going over the wall for Harvick and the opposite way as well. Harvick's going to need all the pit road help he can get today, Jamie Little, because he's starting 36th at a track that's not been his best statistically.
That's right. And, you know, just on a side note, the end of happy hour yesterday, they did end pretty happy. But Alan just mentioned the crew swap this week, and that was Richard's call this week. How can that help you today, Kevin, and maybe in the grand scheme of the championship?
Well, I think as we look back at our pit road stuff has kind of not been where it needed to be, and think Richard just decided to make the call this week to make the change. So hopefully that helps us. Obviously those guys have done a great job for Clint, and just appreciate Clint. Throwing it all in and doing everything we can for the company to go after it. So we'll see. The car's been really good in practice. Obviously, we didn't qualify well, but what's new?
All right, so you are starting back there. It's the deepest you've started this year, Kevin. So how do you balance that charge to the front without using up your equipment?
Well, I think it opens a lot of windows for you as far as strategy goes and tire calls and different things, if we have a caution early in the race. So we'll just play the strategy as it comes towards us, try to take care of our car and keep ourselves around for the end of the race.
All right, Kevin Harvick looking for his first win here at Martinsville.
Okay, Jamie, thanks. The crew swap.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I talked to Clint Boyer about this yesterday, and it's the best thing for their organization. And what I'm saying is Kevin Harvick has the best opportunity of the 3 cars to win a championship. He's only 77 points out. Clint Boyer's crew team is the quickest just by a fraction, but they've been the most consistent. So Clint's being a team player. He is committed to help Richard Childress win the championship, so he's letting his guys go. But he's not extremely excited about it because these are his guys.
Yeah. As far as starting 36th for Harvick, what should we watch for?
First of all, he needs to be really patient. This is a pretty long race. There's no doubt about that. But probably what he needs to do early in this race is go ahead in the first pit stop, 2-tired a thing, not 4-tired. Get 2 in a thing. Try to get some track position. And then the rest of the time, he's just going to have to start picking them off real easy throughout this race until he gets the car up to the front. And that whole process, Alan, I just talked about, he can't use up the equipment. Can't burn the brakes up. Can't tear the fenders up. He's got to be pretty careful.
And you get that track position here on pit road.
Yeah.
So that's why he's got the best guys in the group.
Talk more about pit road in just a couple of minutes. All of the cars in today's race will carry a decal remembering Bristol Motor Speedway President and General Manager Jeff Byrd, who passed away last Sunday after a long illness. Jay Byrd went from being a sports writer in Winston-Salem to working 23 years with sponsor R.J. Reynolds to running the Bristol track the past 14 years. He had a passion for making sure everyone, competitors, media, officials, but especially fans, had a good time when they came to his track. To quote Bruton Smith, Jay Byrd got it. He was 60 years old. He'll be greatly missed. ESPN's NASCAR Countdown today from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, where the smallest track on the circuit presents a big challenge for drivers and teams of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. If 43 cars on this half-mile track create some tight traffic, imagine what 43 cars on pit road inside this half-mile track is like. The track's done everything it can to create the best possible conditions for the racers, but pit road is cramped and crowded with all the crews and all the cars. Let's show you what some of the key teams will face today on pit road. The top 3 in the chase. We begin with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thanks, Alan. You know, if you were to scan 43 pit stalls at most racetracks, you'll find 4 or 5 that are pretty good places to pit. But not so here at Martinsville. There is one and only one, and it is right here at the exit to pit road. It's always the one taken by our pole sitter today. That is Denny Hamlin. Now, Jimmy Johnson says the driver who pits here has a huge advantage because you come in, you don't have to shoehorn your car in, and there's no way you're going to get blocked in on exit. And remember, the driver who normally wins the race off normally wins a race. And Mike Massaro, this pit road also can literally throw curves to some teams.
Indeed, Doc, and that's the case for the 29 team and Kevin Harvick. They find themselves on, well, the hot corner, the final pit stall on pit road before pit road starts to bend off hard to the left. Now, there is an advantage because traffic falls off. It kind of opens up the exit, makes the escape a little bit easier. Make no mistake about it, however, this pit stall can be tricky, especially getting into it. Experience could be key, and Kevin Harvick has that. After all, yesterday in the truck race, this was his same stall. Dave?
And Mike, I'm in pit stall 17. This is the pit stall that championship leader Jimmy Johnson will pit in today. It's right in the middle of the straightaway. It's a very straight shot in, straight shot out, except for the fact that you've got neighbors who probably aren't going to drop out early. Regan Smith is at the entry to his pit. He qualified 13th and has been running great lately. And on the pit exit for Jimmy Johnson is last week's winner, Jamie McMurray. He qualified in the top 10. Both these guys should be around in the early part of this race, and they'll be pitting together on pit road. So, Alan, it's all about cooperation and communication, even among your rivals, to try to keep things at peace here on pit road.
Cooperation among rivals. A strange concept there, Dave. Thank you very much. Let's bring Andy Petrie back into the conversation. Andy, what do you think of the pit picks for today?
Well, obviously, Denny Hamlin's got the best one. It's the only really good stall. But, you know, there's some other decent stalls, and we saw that one that Harvick has. I don't like it too much in the curve, but if you don't qualify up in the front, you don't really get a good choice. So that's the way they pick them. So if you're back out of the top 15, then, you know, the 31 car in particular, he picked the first pit in. It's the number 43 stall. It's got some pluses and minuses to it. The pluses are that, you know, there's nobody that you have to go around, although there is a little jut out in the wall right before the pit stall. And the car right in front of him is the 13 car of Casey Mears. He's not going to run all the laps today, so he'll have an open shot out. But the negatives to this is you have to pass all of these cars down pit road while they're coming in and coming out of their pit stalls, and it can be dangerous. You have to negotiate a lot of danger before you get to the exit.
All right, that's just on pit road. Now, when a crew chief does call his car to pit road, when to pit, and what to do while you're there are going to grind on a lot of guys today, right?
Yeah, it is. It's always a difficult decision here of whether to pit, when to pit, 2 or 4. And we saw the race here in the spring where Denny Hamlin made a decision to come down pit road, and it turned out to be a winning move, but it was not the winning move when he made it. A lot of cars stayed out. He came out ninth. He should not have won this race. The only reason he did is because the circumstances worked out for him, and oh yeah, he did do a great job of getting to the front, but this is a situation where you really never know how the race is going to end, and you got to make these tough calls, and this looked like the losing call at the time, but turned out to be okay.
All right, Andy, thanks, and you'll be keeping track of all that strategy for us throughout the day. We appreciate it.
Okay, Al.
Now, one key for today where the car is concerned is keeping it cool. For that, we go inside our Craftsman Tech Garage and champion crew chief Tim Brewer. Tim?
Thanks, Alan. The key today, the cool air, you have to utilize it. Cooling the water for the engine because you're going to be turning a lot of RPMs. The cool air coming in through this NACA duct right here. This is going to service the driver immensely. But right here, these NACA ducts, we're going to use the one right here for cooling the rear brakes. But this is an important one right here. NACA ducts conduct air down to the rear end cooler. This is the external rear end pump. We're pumping the grease from the gear to the cooler and returning it. But right in this area here, the ring gear and the pinion, that's where we have all the heat. This is a 650 to 1 gear ratio. It's going to accelerate extremely hard up off the corner, but it's also going to stop you going into the corner. So keeping all this stuff cool will enable you to win the race here in Martinsville today. AB?
Little old racetrack will burn a car down if you don't take care of it. Tim, thank you very much. Greg Biffle is our next topic. The Biff starts third today, and he's never had much luck at Martinsville, but he's hoping to turn that around in this one. Greg's plenty relaxed, not just after his good qualifying run, but after a play day with some of his buddies to raise money for charity.
It's our first annual Greg Biffle Foundation mountain retreat event, raising money for the animals and having a good time. I've got this property up here in Morganton, and love to spend time here, and I've done a lot of things and built a lot of features, and wanted to get the drivers up here and enjoy a little bit of fun. My favorite feature would have to be the deck that we built up at the top of the mountain.
Did you have this built, or did you build it yourself?
Actually, Jeff and I built this thing ourselves.
Nice. It looks good. Beautiful view.
You like it? That's the neatest feature, but the most fun, I'd have to say, is the dirt track.
Old Crown Vic looks like it's running pretty good today. Someone stole the radio, so we're not going to have any distractions.
A little nervous. This is some high-stakes style racing.
Whew, things a little loose here.
My biggest thought right now is don't die.
Yeah, baby. All I need is a little village people and I'd be ready. The run's cold. My memory has just been sold. Yeah, I think we took it to him. I don't know much, but I know that ain't good. I know my luck with mechanical parts.
You're hard on equipment.
This car's had it for a little while. It's been a good ride. I put it in its resting place over there in those trees. It's like a bad episode of Days of Thunder. Should be lighter. There's no trunk. So maybe missing a little downforce. I need 3 hot laps. Are you in? I'm in. All she's got, boys, and there ain't no more. I think I got the upper hand. Well, that's what he gets for wrecking me. See, he wrecked me first. I had to come back and flatten his tire. He run up on me a little bit. I run out of room, and my spotter was riding with me. He said, I have plenty of room, plenty of room. I don't know what happened. I chopped him. At the end of the day, I chopped him. If you had one of these on, see, aerodynamic.
Over here we have our wrecking yard pile. I told them we got to have some spares, guys, because things are going to happen. First day, we've had cars in the trees, cars up on the water truck road around the corner. We've heard a transmission, I think, a rear end.
I was trying to take his trunk all the way off. I knew I'd have the aerodynamic advantage if that happened.
But I have it tethered on for safety.
We're down to 2, but we're still running.
Who knew you could have that much fun with junkyard cars?
Now, they're watching that as it plays on the air on that monitor. What'd you think, guys? Yeah, it was very nice, huh? Someone in our group coined that Ferris Biffle's day off.
I like how you used the banking.
Anyone? Bueller? The Biff's hoping to score his first Martinsville win as driver introductions get underway at Martinsville. The Masters of Martinsville, who happen to be the top 2 in the chase when we continue on NASCAR
Countdown from Virginia. In the peace and serenity of the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, there lies a starling beast. Darrell Waltrip wins his 3rd in a row.
Boy, Johnson used a little hustle and a lot of muscle to get past Denny Hamlin. They banged hard, and here comes Kemba, 3 wide to the bottom. He's got a tire down, and Denny Hamlin takes the lead.
So many photographs of so much history here at Martinsville Speedway, and more history and many more photographs, no doubt, to be made in today's 500-lap race on this tight half-mile bull ring. If you want to pick a couple of favorites, look no further than the top 2 in points, Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson. Some expect these 2 racing heavyweights to slug it out for the win today, Dave, and with good reason.
Martinsville certainly has been about these 2 recently. Of course, Hurricane Hamlin is the underdog these days, but Superman holds all the cards so far in the record department. Most wins, most laps led, and of course the top 5s as well. The one place Hamlin's come back, well, he got the pole for this weekend, and it's the second one he's gotten to Johnson's 1. Is that the knockout punch? Well, don't be too sure, because whenever Jimmy has qualified poorly and you start 19th today, he has driven to the front. So what are your concerns starting back in the pack today?
There really is no safe place around the track. So, yes, track position is very important. Being up front would be ideal. But we're going to have to pass cars at some point, and unfortunately, we're just going to have to start deep in the field and come up through there. I'd say the biggest issue we'll have will be on pit road. That first pit stall is going to be very helpful for that 11 team today. But we'll just go to work. I mean, there's a reason why we have to come and run these races, because you know, that's what it's all about, and the points are paid at the end, not at the start. So I'm excited about our car. We really had some good things working for us at the end of practice. And then one last thing I would like to bring up is it's a tough weekend for Mr. Hendrick and the whole Hendrick family with years ago the plane crash that we had, and just wanted to take a quick moment to remember all those folks that were on that aircraft, and I hope that Mr. Hendrick and Lynn are doing well today.
Something the champ is always feeling, Jamie, when he comes to Martinsville.
And first order of business for this weekend was to get the pole, and Denny Hamlin did just that. So, Denny, starting on the pole, you have the #1 pit box. How can that help your chances for another win today?
Well, it just gives us a little bit of a cushion if we do have a bad pit stop. It'll soften the blow a little bit, I guess you could say. The time you spend accelerating out of your pit box and then having to steer around traffic on this tight pit road, we can avoid that, having the #1 pit stall right on that pit exit. So that was a big bonus for our race team, I feel like, for today's race. And obviously we know how important track position is here, so it's got its big benefits.
All right, Denny Hamlin looking for his 3rd straight win here and 4th overall. Alan?
Jamie, thanks. Let's keep our boxing analogy going for a minute, huh? Johnson and Hamlin have been trading blows at this track for the past 4 years. 3 for Jimmy, counterpunch by Denny, 2 more for Jimmy, now 2 for Denny. Which one's going to score the decisive blow in this one today?
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
There you go. Let's talk about Denny for a minute. Before Kansas, Brad, you spent time with him. He kind of mapped out where he thought he'd be in these first chase races. How's he done?
He's not done too bad. I mean, I thought it was very interesting how he pointed out where he wanted wanted to finish and needed to finish in these races leading up to his bullseye race, which is today here at Martinsville, a race he predicts that he will win.
Certainly has put the field on notice winning that pole in qualifying. Rusty, these two drivers, I mean, you've obviously had great success here. Jimmy, Denny, both with great success here. When you watch the way they run the racetrack, what are the similarities? What are the differences?
Well, let's take a look and try to find out a little bit. We got a couple laps these guys running around the racetrack. Take a look at the throttle and the brake position. Here they are going in the corners right now on the left-hand side. Denny Hamlin on the brake a little bit. Jimmy Johnson on the brake a little bit. Johnson's kind of feathering the throttle, and Hamlin seems to mat the throttle harder. I guess the little bit I see right now, guys, and I've won here a lot, and I've loved this place, is that I don't see a big difference. I think that's probably one of the things we need to focus on. They're very close to their same driving styles. It's probably the reason both of them have won so many races here.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think when you look at this, they're both, the similarities between these guys are really, really interesting. And the one thing I've noticed when you look at great short track drivers, and I happen to be sitting beside one of the greatest of all time, they really allow the car to roll. Listen as he gets out of the throttle, and listen how long he is out of the throttle as that car continues to roll through the corner without touching that brake. Then that car gets angled, and he can mat it. That's what the great ones do. That's what this cat tells me anyway.
That's the key right there, mat it up off the throttle. You can't spin a tire if you can be successful. Both of those guys know that, and I think that's one of the reasons they're so doggone successful.
Jimmy getting introduced. You heard from Jimmy a minute ago, starting back 19th. Race going to be a little edgy for him at the start.
He's just going to have to come through that field real gingerly. Maybe put 2 tires on, maybe get some track position right there, but watch the brakes. Don't tear the fenders up, and use a lot of patience. But I don't have to tell this guy that. He knows how to do it.
He knows where it's at.
You're not telling him, you're telling us. And so we'll keep an eye on Jimmy Johnson again, mid-pack for the start today. Up next, a possible spoiler. Yes, I am calling Jeff Gordon a spoiler at Martinsville.
Jeff Gordon?
We'll discuss whether I've lost my mind or not.
You have.
When NASCAR Countdown continues, getting ready for race 6 in the chase for the Sprint Cup. Go to Goodyear.com and show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. The blimp flying overhead on a beautiful Sunday in Martinsville, Virginia, as we get ready for race 6 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Jeff Gordon is a 7-time Martinsville winner who enters this race needing to make something happen to stay in this championship.
All power gone. Jeff Gordon slowly rolling down off of turn number 2.
We're a team that fights all the way to that checkered flag, and no matter what goes on during the day, we do our best to overcome it.
And he goes to battery number 2. Now we're rolling.
Gordon showcasing his skills at 190 miles an hour to be able to flip-flop the starters and continue on.
I don't think we've performed quite as well as we need to up to this point to win the championship. But I also recognize there's a lot of racing left.
Jeff Gordon down pit row being penalized for speeding.
I think every week, every car has one bad run, one offset of tires, one challenge during the day. And ours have either been ill-timed or we haven't recovered from them well enough.
And with only 5 races left, recovering is exactly the task confronting Jeff Gordon and his team.
I got to find Andy. I'm getting my tack lesson today. Well, Jeff is convinced he knows how he was speeding. Right, so if he ran the whole way right there on 1 red, though, he's speeding. Technically, yes, because you're... See, that's what I think that's what... is he just hit it dead perfect. Right.
To contend in the chase, you must adjust, refocus, and rebound from mistakes. And to do it right, rebounding takes self-examination, reevaluation, and reality checks.
The key is putting yourself back in that position to pull off the win. If you put yourself in position enough times, you are going to get to victory lane.
If the past is any indication of possible success, then Gordon has good reason for optimism. He's pulled into victory lane at Martinsville 7 times in his career. But as the 24 team knows, the past doesn't necessarily shape the future. A grueling day of testing in North Carolina hopes to provide insight to winning in Virginia.
We're not going to take it for granted. We've been testing to try to get better there. We're not going to assume that's going to be a good track. We're going to go prove it to ourselves.
tires are just way looser.
Looser? Stand for. Everywhere or mostly in?
No, exit, mostly exit.
Huh. Wow. All right, 10-4. I'd have lost that bet.
No, something's wrong here.
10-4. Let's go on in. You know, if we tried 20 things and 19 didn't work, that means one did. And that one that did might be the difference, you know, come Sunday afternoon in Virginia.
I think there's a little something there.
10-4. 10-4.
Whether we're battling with loose in or loose off or tight in the middle or whatever it may be that we're battling with, we can go back to that Little Rock test and say, hey, we tried this and this, you know, helped the car here, and let's see if it works here at Martinsville.
The championship is slipping further out of reach and may well be out of sight if they don't win this week. He knows how much victory at Martinsville means for his chances in the chase and beyond.
Well, if there's any track where Jeff Gordon should be confident he can make something happen, it's here at Martinsville. Jeff Gordon has, listen to this, 11 straight top 5 finishes at this track, 15 straight top 10s. Oh yeah, 7 wins. Question is, can he break a career-long winless streak from the 11th starting spot in this Martinsville race today? Gordon and his team have been fast, but they can't seem to close the deal at the end of a race. Why?
They just got to quit making mistakes. I mean, speeding penalties, mechanical problems. I mean, I can go on, but I really think they got a fantastic team. And look, this guy knows how to drive the car. Qualifying 11th today. He's won here many times. But, you know, you just got to put it all together. I've went through this same problem, Alan, with just sometimes they put 4 tires on. You put 2 tires on. You keep making the wrong calls, but you think you're doing the right thing at that time. And when it's all said and done at the very, very end, you just can't close the deal because of it.
Yeah,
they'll get it together. It takes time.
You're exactly right. It seems like at the end of the day, they kind of dial their race car out a little bit. I mean, I go back to Darlington where at the beginning of that race, Jeff Gordon was so strong, and he and Jamie McMurray were just going at it tooth and nail. And by the end of the last run, the car was dialed out. Now, whose fault is that? Is that Steve Letart's fault? Not 100%. I think he's a brilliant young crew chief, does a great job. Is it Jeff Gordon's fault? He's one of the greatest drivers of all time. But together, it's both of their faults. And the reason why is because the expectations for these guys are excellent. We're not talking about finishing top 5. We're talking about winning a championship. So the standard is much higher for these guys when we judge them.
They're 4th in the points.
Yes, sir.
They're not out of this thing. I mean, they still got a fighting chance. It's slim, but they can do it.
They're 156 points back with 5 to go. Jimmy Johnson was 146 points back in 2006 and won the title. But Gordon and company have to be able to close the deal.
Today is the day.
Jimmy's feet.
They've got to get it done.
We'll see if Gordon gets back to his winning ways as he and 42 others go short track racing in Martinsville. We go back to the grid and talk with Kangaroo Meat on the outside of the front row. Marcus Ambrose getting ready to go.
Get to the bottom. Get to the bottom.
The team owner.
Don't get hung out, huh?
Chase race number 6. Get to the bottom. Martinsville Speedway, not just known for its racing, it's known for its hot dogs.
Things are delicious, too.
It's not just a hot dog, by the way. It's a hot dog with mustard, coleslaw, and chili.
Oh, man.
Concerned about the color, though.
They're
Give me
red.
some Tums.
Yeah.
I need some Tums.
Tums is the sponsor of the race today. It's kind of a fitting sponsor, as some of the crew members who've been here since Friday have scarfed down upwards of 20 of those Martinsville Speedway hot dogs over the course of the week. We're 22 minutes and counting away from the green flag for today's race. If you want a dark horse pick, an upset special of the day, if you will, maybe think about a guy who's normally a favorite on the road courses. Mike Massaro.
And that would be Marcos Ambrose, starts second today. You know, I had a conversation with your car owner, Brad Doherty. He had some advice. He said, get to the bottom. How do you plan to attack this thing?
Yeah, look, it's great to be starting on the front row, but I would much prefer for 0.003 of a second to be starting where Danny is on the inside. It's going to be hard for me to get to the bottom. You know, I've got Biffle behind me on the inside second row there that's obviously fighting for the chase too. So I'm going to try and find a hole somewhere, get in, get to the first pit stop somewhere in the top 10 and just see how our car comes in.
Back in the spring, Ambrose finished 11th, trying to improve upon that today, Doc.
You know, amidst all the hoopla about having brand new cars with the latest and greatest things, Ryan Newman today drives the car for the 4th consecutive time at Martinsville Speedway, and for good reason. You've got 3 consecutive top 10 finishes here. What is the key to having a good run here at Martinsville?
Keeping your nose clean is one of the hardest things to do here, and good pit stops. You just a little bit on pit road can mean so much here because everything's so tight, and getting off the corners, rolling through the center, all those things that we typically work on. But, 500 laps is pretty demanding here, and keeping your brakes cool is really important as well.
Hey, good luck today.
Thank you.
He finished 4th here in the spring, Alan. He starts 4th today.
Good one to keep an eye on today, Doc. Thank you very much. We talked about the hot dogs a minute ago. Let's talk about the beans now. It's time for our Bush's Beans recipe for success. What's it going to take to navigate the paperclip today? Well, we talked about it earlier. We'll just recap it here. Keep it clean on pit road. Make the strategy right. Don't bend your fenders on pit road. It's easy to give up track position. It's hard to get it.
Yeah, other thing you want to take a look is avoid the curb, man. If you touch that curb a little bit, it's going to knock you sideways, spin you out. You don't want that. That'll tear up fenders, blow out tires. Stay off of that curb. Look at that. Oh, don't want to do that. That gets you sideways.
Yeah, the brakes obviously get super hot here. We're talking about the brakes, but the thing that really gets hot that we got to pay attention to is the car has a 9-inch ring and pinion, just like a lot of our domestic street cars that are rear-wheel drive. The backside of that gear gets very hot because when you let off of the clutch, the backside of the gear slows the car down. That's where it picks up the most heat. So we really got to watch those items today.
Temper to the aggression. I'll tell you what, that's a good one. You got to be calm out there. You don't be beating and banging and spinning yourself out. Take a look at this. It's 17.
That doesn't look too calm right there, Russ.
Yeah, Matt Kinson thinks he's going to win this thing. That's not going to happen. I'll watch this. So Jeff Gordon's going to rough him up, knock him around. You got to be cool. Now, that's the last lap. You could do it the last lap.
Oh, but you got to be cool all day inside the helmet, not just in the car, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work.
Well, will Denny Hamlin manage that aggression? Will he get his feathers and his fenders ruffled? And how many times is Brad going to set the pit studio shaking, jumping up, and something happens in front of us out the racetrack?
You're going to run down and grab some of those hot dogs, aren't you?
More NASCAR Countdown from Martinsville in a minute as we get ready for chase race number 6 on the paperclip.
Now we're talking.
I'm getting the Tums for you.
Those are all mine.
The live scene at Martinsville Speedway, where 43 drivers are getting ready to slug it out on this tight half mile in race 6 of the chase. We remind you that in a few moments, our coverage will move over to ESPN for the race. Keep the remote handy and make the move with us. Dr. Jerry Punch has just reported to us that during pre-race inspection before today's race, NASCAR has taken the drive shaft cover from Jimmy Johnson's car. Another one was put on the car, and it's good to go in its 19th position on the grid. NASCAR says no pre-race penalty. We'll see. Usually these things come out on Tuesday. If there's anything to be followed up on from there, we'll keep an eye on that story for you. Jimmy getting ready to go. Jamie is with another driver getting ready to go down on the grid. James?
That's right. Tony Stewart's at 6th in the points right now. So, Tony, you always hear drivers, including yourself, talk about the feel of the car here. How did your car feel at the end of happy hour?
Well, I think there's a lot of guys trying to figure out how we're going to keep from, burning the tires off real quick. So, it's the same challenge for everybody. It's just figuring out who does the best job at it. So, we were running quick laps, but we got to where we were trying to figure out how to make our tires last longer in the run without falling off, and ended up getting slower. So, we just kind of went back to where we started yesterday morning, and a couple little changes, and see if it'll hang in there.
Well, it was a good qualifying effort. He'll roll off 6th. Alan?
All right, Jamie, thanks. Let's talk about some other drivers to watch for today and why. Rusty, who you got an eye on?
Now I'm going to pick Jamie McMurray again. I picked him at Charlotte. Yeah, hey, I picked him at Charlotte. It worked for me there. This guy's a fantastic short track racer. I think he can win this thing.
Starts in the 9th position today.
For me, it's going to be Juan Pablo Montoya. The guy has all of the elements to win a short track race. Tremendous, car control. He's very aggressive. All of those things. The thing is, though, the aggressiveness could get him in trouble at this racetrack, but he starts up front. Could be in victory lane at the end of the day.
Montoya taking the green in the 5th position. All right, so getting ready to go. 500 laps on the paperclip. Mr. 7-time Martinsville winner. What's in these drivers' minds when they fire them up and they get ready to go?
They want to know if the cars are going to handle today like they handled last night or yesterday afternoon in practice. That's the thing you're always concerned about. Will this car handle right? Will the brakes stay with me? Can I get through traffic without tearing something up? all those things are going through your mind.
Denny Hamlin starts on the pole. Jimmy Johnson, 19th. Kevin Harvick way in the back in 36th position on the grid. How's the championship story play
I
today?
think it's still, once we get to that last run, all these guys will be in the mix. Harvick will make it up through the field through great pit stops. Denny's going to be fast. Jimmy Johnson will get through great pit stops. Be a great race at the end of the day. Stick around.
I expect it will, and of course, we'll see if we get another one of those beating and banging Martinsville
Gonna
finishes.
have that, baby.
The weather's great, the track's tight, the action will be intense, and we are ready for race 6 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Grab the remote control. Coverage moves over to ESPN for 500 laps at Martinsville. We are looking for some great short track action right now. Well, NASCAR's history meets the modern day in race 6 of the chase for the Sprint Cup. Every year since 1949, fans have gathered in this spot, Martinsville, Virginia, to see which driver can grind out a win over the tough little Martinsville Speedway layout. And just as their predecessors, today's NASCAR stars will beat, bump, and bang over 500 laps with precious championship points on the line for some and nothing but a win the goal for others. We go trackside for today's opening ceremony, which will include a remembrance of Bristol Speedway President Jeff Byrd.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Henry County Sheriff's Department presents our nation's colors. Please join as Mr. Lester's class from Patrick Henry Elementary School leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And now, please join in a moment of silence as we remember the life of Bristol Motor Speedway track president Jeff Byrd, who passed away this week. Thank you. Remain standing as Andy Barton of Raceway Ministries offers today's invocation.
Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, as we come before you today, we do want to remember the family of Jeff Byrd. We want to remember our armed forces that are fighting for our freedom, that we may be able to come here and enjoy this race. I pray for our law enforcement officers and all the ones here. And Father, I lift up each one of these race car drivers and pray that your kingdom will be done in their life as it is in heaven. And Father, I pray that they feel your presence today as they drive that car and keep them safe. And I thank you for the many obstacles and things that we've overcome, that Raceway Ministry could come here and to minister here at the Martinsville racetrack. And I thank you for Clay Campbell and his organization that allow us to do that. And most of all, I thank you for your son that died upon a cross for us. For it's in your name that I pray. Amen.
To honor our troops, please place your right hand over your heart as the Winston-Salem State University Red Sea of Sound, under the direction of Dr. Michael Magruder, performs our national anthem.
Beautiful sight. And now time for the drivers to get ready to go racing. Imagine being in bumper-to-bumper traffic for about 3 hours. Could you keep your cool? That's the challenge for these 43. Keep their cool behind the wheel as they fight for track position around this tight Martinsville bull ring. We're ready for some beating and banging short track racing as the chase continues from Martinsville next.
NASCAR Sprint Cup at Martinsville is brought to you by Bank of America. NASCAR fans should appreciate the speed of our ATM deposits. No deposit slip, no envelope, quick and easy. And Coca-Cola. Open a Coke and enjoy the race.
Time. It's either working with you or against you. Jimmy Johnson is a master of the moment.
Points leader Jimmy Johnson spun. Catch your breath, bud. We got plenty of time.
He turns adversity into triumph.
Look who's coming. Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Superman. He woke up.
And gains momentum with every lap.
You've been driving your butt off. You can do this, man. You can do this.
For a challenger, time is running out. And a chase full of expectation is yielding to doubt.
I'm really being pretty conservative right now. Just trying to save all I can. We'll be fine.
Today, they race at Martinsville. A driver's track that has stood the test of time.
This little racetrack will wear you out.
Where speed is sacrificed for an ability to maneuver within the bottleneck. With 5 races left, it's time for a risk, for a bold move, for a defining moment. And there's no time like the present.
Listen to me, guys. When it's time to go, we got to go.
Time is of the essence today as ESPN brings you live coverage of race number 6 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup from the Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. The race is all about time, who can cover the distance in the least amount of time. And it's time to start the race, which today will be done in a little different way.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshals, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series crews.
Gentlemen,
Time to go racing in Martinsville. Take a look at all those shiny race cars. They won't look that way for long. They'll have donut marks, bent fenders, and beat-up bumpers in just a little while. The only short track race in the chase begins next.
Back here at Martinsville, where the engines have fired, and we're getting ready for the start of race number 6 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Let's show you the starting grid across the top of the screen. And Denny Hamlin won the pole by 3/1000ths of a second with a career best second place start for Marcus Ambrose. Michael McDowell, Terry Cook, Johnny Sauter, and Robbie Gordon did not make the race, but Robbie's back in because there's been a driver change in the 7 car. Conway is out. Kevin's replaced by Robbie. That's all important in the owner's points. Our in-race reporter may be the happiest Missouri Tiger fan in all of Virginia. Carl Edwards, let's talk to him.
Hey, Carl, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
I got you, Dale.
Well, let me first say congratulations to you and your Missouri Tigers. I saw you successfully pick them to beat the Oklahoma Sooners.
Hey, thanks a lot. Yeah, that's unreal. Congrats to Gary Pinkel and those guys. I stayed up a little bit too late watching the end of that game, but just a great day for Columbia, Missouri, and the Mizzou Tigers. That was cool.
All right, Carl, on to the day. Rex from Mount Airy, North Carolina asks, history shows this is not one of your best tracks. What issues do you fight here, and do you have a better handle on them today?
I've fought just about everything here. Yeah, we've had not the best luck here, but I think today could be a little bit different. We got a great race car. My pit crew's been spectacular lately, and you know, the biggest thing will just be keeping the balance the same the whole race. I think that's something everyone's going to struggle with today.
All right, Carl, thanks a lot for talking with us. We'll be back with you later on. Have a great day.
All right, have a great broadcast.
The fact of the matter is there truly are 43 cars, all capable of performing at their peak, but obviously the main focus has been on 3 of them, the top 3 in points, and they're going to be starting all over this field. You've got first, middle, and near the back of the field.
Yeah, you got Denny Hamlin starting on the pole, and in practice, I watched, there was a handful of really good cars in practice, and Denny was one of those, but he wasn't the best. They really had a little bit of a time there with their car, changing a lot of things, kind of uncharacteristic of that team, but, you know, he does have the best starting position. I'm sure they've worked on it overnight. Now, Jimmy, on the other hand, had a great car in practice. He is starting mid-pack, and he's got to negotiate a lot of traffic, but I think he's got a really good shot. So, talking to the crew chiefs in the garage today, they all believe that those are the 2 cars to beat.
Yeah, there might be a lot of the crew chiefs that think that, but there's a lot of other drivers that I talked with that think they have a great car and a great opportunity here today. Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson's teammate, thinks he can win this race. And I believe that one of the RCR cars is going to win this race. Clint Boyer, we saw him win back at Loudon. He has a great race car. Kevin Harvick, even though he's starting back, I look for him to be in the top 5. My pick today, though, is that 31 of Jeff Burton. I think he'll have something to say about who goes to victory lane.
Well, for you Kevin Harvick fans, just remember the deepest that anyone's ever won this race started 36th. It was Kurt Busch back in 02. That's exactly where Kevin's going to start today. Let's get the latest from pit road. We're talking about time all day today, guys.
Well, Marty, Martinsville Speedway has always been about time, has it not? It doesn't take much time at all to get around this half-mile speedway. This has stood the test of time. It's not been knocked off the schedule since 1949. And, of course, the grandfather clock goes to the winner, so that is always about time as well. With the chase half over, it's time the sub-drivers step up today at Martinsville. Mike Massaro.
That's right, Dave. For the 18 team and Kyle Busch, they can hear the clock ticking. Time is slipping away. Just 5 races remain, and they've got 177 points to make up on the championship leader. With that, the approach is simple. Be aggressive. Don't be afraid to take risks and go for the win. Today, Kyle Busch trying to make up for some lost time and score his 4th victory of the year. Jerry Punch.
You know, no active driver in the field today has spent more time in victory lane here at Martinsville than Jeff Gordon. He's won here 7 times. You know, and the last time he won here, he came from 3 laps behind to make up for spending too much time on pit road fixing right front wheel studs. That's been quite some time since Jeff has won a NASCAR Sprint Cup race. Try 60 starts in 18 months. And with him sitting 4th in the NASCAR Sprint Cup points, it's time to make a move. So for the 24 team, it is showtime here today. Jamie Little.
Well, Denny Hamlin sits on the pole, and he, too, is a 3-time winner here, but sitting 41 points back in the championship and having only led 1 lap in the first half of the chase. The time is now. It's his time to shine. Marty?
Well, Jamie, believe it or not, we actually have enough time to talk about the track facts and show them to you, and you want to talk about the banking because that number's deceiving, isn't it?
That 12 degrees of banking, it might be somewhere out there, but probably up near the wall where you don't ever want to be. But that was what these drivers will have to negotiate, is that lack of banking in these tight corners today.
All right, let's listen in on the 47 radio as they get cranked up for this race.
Great weekend, boys. Thank you. A lot of fun. Have a good fun day. Enjoy ourselves. 10-4. You reach down that pocket, grab all them feelings and throw them out the window. You're not going to need them here. A lot of bumping going on.
Great words of wisdom. And Alan said it best. Take a look at all these nice shiny paint schemes. Get your picture now, because when we're done 500 laps from now, none of them are going to come back looking the same. Pace car leading them around, and we should point out Buster Otten is driving the pace car today for Brett Bodine, and we want to send our best to Brett and his brothers Jeff and Todd. They lost their mother Carol June on Friday, and that's why he is not here. All right, let's set the field for you. As you know, Denny Hamlin's going to be up front. Jimmy's all the way back in 19th. And it is Hamlin taking the inside line. Pace car pulls off down into turn number 3. Slowly coming around the corner. The crowd here at Martinsville comes to their feet, and as they come down the front straightaway, race number 6 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup from Martinsville Speedway is green. He survived the first 2 corners, and Denny Hamlin jumps out for the early lead. Ambrose right behind him.
Yeah, Tony Stewart trying to make a big move up on the high side, see if he can get himself in line.
Greg Biffle in 3rd. In 4th place, you got Ryan Newman. Stewart, Montoya. That's your top 6.
You see everybody fighting to get next to that curve, get right on the bottom of the racetrack. Paul Menard being the only one out there, or the first one that's out there on the outside.
And he is sort of hung out right now alongside of Jamie McMurray. There you see them passing through the screen. On board with Jeff Gordon right now in the battle for 11th place. Right behind those two, Scott Speed in the 82. If you're with us on Countdown, you know that he is reportedly out of this ride next year, a performance clause that may kick in.
You can see right there the one car get into the 6. A little bumping going on already. The guy's a little bit impatient.
Yeah, he made himself a little room, though, and got underneath.
Jamie McMurray going underneath the 6 of David Reagan. You look on board from Gordon's point of view.
As a driver, that's what you're looking for here in the early laps, is somebody to kind of bulldoze their way through there, that you can kind of just follow their lead. Makes it easier for you not to have to use up your car.
You can always tell when these guys get on the brakes, the nose of the car just heads for the pavement. And the 99 of Carl Edwards gets around Juan Pablo Montoya, and Rudiman's going to try and tuck up underneath there as well.
Yeah, talking about Carl and Roush Fenway Racing, this hasn't been the best racetrack for them in history, but I've seen their cars be a lot better this time around. All 4 of them, I think, have a chance to run in the top 10 today.
Jamie McMurray tucking up underneath the 00 as well. Let's check in on Jimmy Johnson. He's side by side with Clint Boyer, as that is for 17th on the racetrack. Right side of your screen, the battle continues. Jamie McMurray now clears Juan Pablo Montoya. So Montoya going in the wrong direction. He's back to 9th, and here comes Gordon underneath. He can't get down to the bottom.
No, that's really hard, especially at the early going where these cars are just nose to tail. You see Jeff Gordon gladly following Jamie McMurray up through there.
And David Reagan's going to follow suit as well, and now maybe he can finally tuck in, and does.
See Harvick now working the outside lane. He and Brad Keselowski in that 12 car.
He's picked up 6 spots. He's up to 30th right now. And, of course, Brad coming off the big win yesterday over at the Nationwide Series race, his 6th win. And the last race in St. Louis.
And Harvick's in a position that he can't afford to be too patient here early on. You don't want to get yourself in trouble, but he knows that that leader will be coming quickly on him if he doesn't make his way up through here.
Yeah, and he's kind of boxed in right here, but he looks like he's a little faster than Keselowski, but he doesn't really have a way around.
Kasey Kahne gets in front of him there. Now he's trying to go underneath Keselowski, and now it's Brad that's hung out to dry. Jeff Gordon going underneath the 99, and he's got the spot. So Gordon on the move right now. Put him up into the 8th position.
And once again, Jeff Gordon's just kind of following. You can see Jamie McMurray's pulled away by about 3 or 4 car lengths. He's one that's really moving up. Now we got a battle for the lead.
Marcus Ambrose wants to stick the 47 in front. He's trying. He may get him clear going down the backstretch.
Yeah, he's got him.
He's got him. And here comes Biffle along.
It looks like Brad Daugherty had a talk with Marcus, told him how to get around this place, got his driver on the move.
Said on Countdown, stay on the bottom.
He did, too. He worked himself right to the bottom, first lap. From the outside, that's kind of hard to do.
Ryan Newman has moved to 3rd, so all of a sudden, Denny Hamlin in a couple of laps has dropped from the lead back to 4th. Tony Stewart is right behind him in 5th.
And the big thing for Denny Hamlin right now, that kind of took him out of control. He has to now start driving his car just a little bit harder because he can't afford to give up any more spots. When you have that lead, you can kind of run your own race. Back off a little bit early, let the car roll through the middle of the corner. But if he tries that now, he'll lose some more spots to cars behind him.
See David Rudiman right there in the 00 having a good run. Jamie McMurray's been beating on his bumper also, trying to get him out of the way. He'd like to pick up another spot.
Pretty much the top 15 have sort of fallen into single file now here in the early stages of this race. There you see Hamlin, Tony Stewart, David Rudiman, Jamie McMurray. That is battle from 4th all the way back through 7th. Jeff Gordon in the 8th position. So Marcus Ambrose, after a career best start of 2nd, finds himself in front here at the Tums Fast Relief 500 at Martinsville. Make sure to go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear's Support Our Troops program. There you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver, enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus, and other great prizes. Back here at Martinsville Speedway, we've completed 22 of 500 laps. They're clicking off pretty fast right now. You want to see where Kevin Harvick is? Right there. He is about half a track behind. He has managed to work his way up, though. He's up to 27th, guys. Casey Mears right in front of him.
Yeah, and the most important thing for Kevin Harvick is he's passed 9 cars, and so that puts some more cars in between him and the leader, so he can kind of take it a little bit easier as we see Jimmy Johnson battling Paul Menard.
See a little tire rub right there.
And that is for 14th on the racetrack. And what's really going to be surprising to you folks, we'll show you what happened earlier. Jimmy had a little bit of contact with the 31 of Jeff Burton.
Yeah, we talk about the curbing here as being an issue. You can see Jimmy got on his left front tire, got on that, got up into Jeff Burton at that time. And that's what this curbing makes you do. You can't take that angle in there. You have to dodge that, and you have to be careful not to get yourself in trouble.
Well, Jimmy, right now, as we pointed out, 14th. Well, Denny Hamlin is going to be in his sights very soon because during the commercial break, Hamlin lost several more spots. He has dropped all the way back to 10th on the racetrack, and there he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that he's not any better than that starting out this race. What is he saying, Jamie?
Well, I talked to his crew chief this morning, Mike Ford, and he told me they have not set this car up for the short runs. He said we need to wait till about lap 30 to see where we're at, and they're approaching that right now, Andy. But they said they were not going to panic if they were going to fall back a few spots, guys, but he continues to lose spots. He's back at 11th now.
If I'm them, I'm panicking because he's not running near to the caliber that they're used to.
I don't think the definition of a few spots is falling out of the top 10.
No, definitely not. No, they started on the pole, and they expected to be able to run their race up front. We saw them make a lot of changes with this car in practice yesterday, and they were obviously...
why I can't even touch the gas.
Okay, and that's where Denny Hamlin and Mike Ford told me on Friday that they make up their time on everybody is to drive off the corner, and that's what the issue that they've been fighting all through practice and now into the race.
One car or two cars back, you see Jimmy Johnson now on the move going forward.
And Jimmy Johnson is set up for short runs. Chad Canals told me this morning the reason they got beat the last two races here, they were geared toward long runs, 50 laps and above, and it was the 11 car who was so good on short runs, he just spanked them. So yesterday, they changed the car around and made some changes this morning to make Jimmy Johnson good from lap 1 to lap 40. Now, after lap 40, the car may get loose, but right now, he is moving toward the front.
And Doc, just as you finish up, a little contact with the right front of Jimmy's car to the left rear of Scott Speed.
Yeah, and I'm not as concerned about the body damage, but it's very easy to get your tire cut down in that situation right there. But Jimmy's been pretty aggressive moving up through.
He is now right behind Denny Hamlin. The one thing that the 11 car did not want to see.
It's still a long race, and they have a lot of time to fix this 11 car, but right now it's definitely not right.
One of the things we saw on that graphic when we had the side-by-side comparison of these two drivers, you were noticing, Andy, how smooth Jimmy was on the throttle. And whoa, look out. All of a sudden, up front, Ryan Newman trying to go for the lead.
Yeah, he took a shot at him right there. Just, I think he got on the brakes really hard and tried to stay off of him.
All right, right here's what Denny Hamlin and his team did not want to happen. Everybody talked about, was this a must-win for Denny Hamlin this week? I don't think it's a must-win. I think it's a must-finish in front of the 48. And right now, he's not getting the job done. As Andy pointed out, a lot of laps to go.
Psychologically, if you put yourself in Denny's shoes, what are you thinking right now?
Well, you're a little disappointed because you really expect to be better than this. He's talked about this was going to be his race to win. He expected to come here, lead the most laps, get maximum points, and that's far from happening right now.
Check in on the battle for third position as you've got Ruderman and Biffle. Ruderman in third, fourth, and fifth as Jeff Gordon continues his march towards the front.
Yeah, and watching this double zero, and here comes Gordon. He's going to go around Biffle also. But David Ruderman in that double zero, really moving forward. I like the drive off that he has. We watched him some in practice yesterday. That looked like where his car was really good.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of crew chiefs this morning. The track, this race seems to be a lot looser for everybody, and I think it's really hitting that 11 car the worst because they have had the best drive off, like you said, but they've been really loose this week. A lot of other teams have had the same problem, but they've dealt with it.
Yeah, and that's it. If you watch the countdown show and heard the 7-time winner Rusty Wallace talk about what he'd like to get his car, he wasn't as concerned if it's a little tight in the center. He wanted to get that drive off, and that's what will make the difference. That's where you pass people here.
Notice that Hermie Sadler in the 71, J.J. Yaley in the 81, they are going a lap down to the leaders already. Marcus Ambrose has gotten around both of them right now. Jeff Gordon is on the move as he's now gotten into the fourth position. And it's three non-chasers up front. Marcus Ambrose, Ryan Newman, and David Ruderman after 36 laps. We're working lap 37 here at Martinsville. Stay with us. This is getting very interesting. Well, for only the 5th time in his career, Marcus Ambrose is leading a race that wasn't a road course, and this is his first laps led here at Martinsville. As you can see, we've clicked off 44 of them so far. He's on the lower left portion of your screen. The 39 of Ryan Newman is right behind him in second. David Ruderman running a good, strong third, with Jeff Gordon now moved into the 4th position, and Greg Biffle rounding out your top 5. Another car that's on the move just a little bit further back behind these guys. Jeff Burton, fellas, one of your picks. He's picked up 11 spots in that number 31.
Yeah, Jeff Burton's car just looked really good in practice. I think Andy pointed it out first, and we expect Jeff Burton to run well here. He had a chance to win the race here earlier this year, but had a flat tire and put him back to a 20th place finish.
One thing I noticed, you see it right there, he doesn't run right against the curb, getting in the corner and to the center, and then he kind of brings the car down to the bottom and gets a straight shot off the corner. It's hard to get a car to do that. I mean, you have to have it pretty tight getting in the corner so you don't slide the back wheels, and you can see right there when you can get that left front on the curb on the exit.
Caution on the track. We got a car into the wall.
Yeah, the 38 car looks like he may have blown a tire.
Yeah, Travis Quabble right front. You can see the damage there. Coming out of turn number 4. So our first caution here on lap number 49.
Yeah, too much.
It is pretty hard.
He could have run over something.
Got here.
Most of the time, too much brake heat is going to melt the bead on that right front and blow it out.
Yeah, right there you see it. That is the weak link in the system. Now, the brakes are so good, they make so much heat that the tire really becomes a weak link in that system.
And actually, the initial contact back in turn number 3. He was running 28th at the time of the crash.
Guys, right side, take a good look in there and let him go around. There you go, right here, right here.
And he almost, yeah, he does go past. He'll have to back him up. Oh, and he almost runs over the tire carrier. So it's not going any better for the 38 team right now.
Kind of started out bad and got worse.
And that's important for the owner points for that car. They are right now 36th in that position. They started this race just 5 points behind, and this could be very costly for them.
You see Jeff Burton's team getting ready to make a pit stop there, the first pit stall on the entrance of pit road.
We can tell you 2 cars are off already behind the wall. David Gilliland, Landon Castle. We have 36 cars on the lead lap. Tony Raines should be getting the lucky dog. We'll confirm that through NASCAR.
Yeah, as they get ready to make pit stops, we'll have to watch Kevin Harvick. He has to come around Ryan Newman. There's a big gap with them. Newman may be finishing up whenever Harvick's trying to get in his pit here.
So here they come, and let's send it to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Jeff Gordon is driven from 11th to 4th here and says the car is really pretty good. He says the car is just a tick tight in the middle of the corner, but I don't want to give up any drive off, so don't really change anything. It'll be 4 tires and topping it off with fuel. Dave Byrd.
The leader, Marcus Ambrose, will come down pit road for a 4-tire change and air pressure adjustment. A little tight across the rubber blade on the track, a little loose off. Ryan Newman was running second. He was tight in the center of the corner. Wedge and air pressure adjustment for the 39. Jamie.
Big changes coming for the 11 car. He was so loose, he said he had nothing to lean on. 2 rounds of wedge in the left rear, air pressure on both rear tires, track bar down, 1 round. They need to get this car better, as we've talked about, and you see the race off pit road as he gets past 1 car, 3, 6, 8 cars, and they're all freight training him. But guys, they got to take the time and get this car right. Denny Hamlin down and away.
The big winner, Tony Stewart, coming off the race off pit road. Also Ryan Newman as he gets out in front of Marcus Ambrose. And not so good for Denny Hamlin on the race. He predicted that he would win. He's deep in the field again. Lucky dog was Tony Raines here at Martinsville. 1 wave around Hermie Sadler in the 71. Up front will be Ryan Newman, Marcus Ambrose, then Ruderman and Jeff Gordon in row number 2. You want to know where Denny Hamlin is? All the way back to 15th. In fact, Kevin Harvick is now moved up to 13th, right in front of him. Coming out of the turn 4, green flag back in the air, and we're racing again. As you saw, Newman pick the inside.
Like Marcus Ambrose spun his tires a little bit on the start there and opened the door for David Ruderman to try to take that 2nd spot away.
Ruderman's going to get that spot. He quickly tucks in behind him to shut the door on the 16 of Greg Biffle.
These drivers were telling me how frustrating these restarts can be, where you line up, you work hard to pass a few cars, you go in the pit, you come back out, you end up on that outside, you lose all of that track position you worked so hard to gain.
2 penalties we've got to pass along. the number 1 on Jamie McMurray for too fast entering, David Reagan too fast exiting, and it takes about 32 seconds to do a pass through pit road here. This is going to be costly for both their efforts. Jimmy Johnson there, you saw him in the 7th spot. Jeff Gordon right with him. So guys that had started deeper in this field, namely Burton and Jimmy Johnson, moving their way into the top 10 right now. And there's Kevin Harvick. He has now gotten into the 9th position.
Man, that's a nice job they've done right there. And that pit crew, they made that swap this week. It looks like it's really paying off.
Yeah, and I actually thought it might take him a time or two to work with Kevin coming in, getting stopped, and kind of synchronize with him. But they did an excellent job on that first stop.
They actually had the 3rd fastest pit stop on pit road that time, so that was a really good job.
Yeah, you really have to applaud Richard Childress. That's a tough decision. You got both of those guys still in the chase, even though Boyer's pretty much out of things as far as the points go. But he saw his best effort is to try to win his championships with Kevin Harvick, and he made a big change.
Saw Joey Logano going underneath Juan Pablo Montoya there, and right in front of him his Joe Gibbs teammate Denny Hamlin. Let's get an update on our race leader Ryan Newman. Dave Burns.
Marty, just something interesting. He reported after he wheel hopped, we saw that point at which he tried to pass Marcos Ambrose and the car kind of got away from him. He reported he thought he broke something in the right rear. According to the crew talking back and forth, they believe it's a sway bar link in the right rear, but they don't want to change it. Andy, well, why wouldn't you worry about that?
Well, he's leading the race. That's why I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, whatever it was, it broke in the right direction. You know, I heard a report of that, but he started running the leader, Marcos Ambrose, down right after that, so I didn't think that it really was anything to it, but it could have been a sway bar link.
Well, this was the move that we're talking about.
You see, they kind of diving in, trying to get underneath Marcos Ambrose, and you see all of a sudden he has to make a quick right. But then after this, he lost a lot of ground to Ambrose and then ran him back down.
Yeah, and you can see just where they transitioned onto the concrete from the asphalt, he got the car to wheel hop in there, so might have just felt like that they broke something at that time.
Battle for 4th is heating up. Jeff Burton on the move. He's making you look really good right now, DJ, in your prediction, because he is side by side with Biffle, and here comes the 48 and the 24 right along.
Yeah, we're going to see all 3 of these guys up in the mix. Biffle's having a great day, but he's really no match at this racetrack for these 3.
Andy, several laps have seen little puffs of smoke from the 31.
Hey, you see this, looks like a dark smoke. You see a lot of that from even like the Gibbs cars. We've seen that for years coming out of the Gibbs cars, but now we're starting to see some of that coming out of the Childress cars. Mike?
Well, guys, Jeff Burton had some real interesting and powerful comments this weekend in the media center. He was asked about the situation he's in right now, and he said, this is a very important race for us. We come here with some unfinished business. Remember, back in the spring, they led 140 laps here, but came up very empty because of a flat tire late. They've got that on their mind and feel like they can make up for it with a big victory today.
All right, Mike, thanks for the update on Jeff Burton as he continues his quest. And he's trying to get up to the front. He's in the 4th position. Look at Harvick. He is still coming forward as well in the 8th spot now, right behind Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, we knew he had a really good car, but I'll be honest, I thought it would take him somewhere well over 100 laps to get himself positioned up in the top 10, but shows just how good a car he has today and doing a fantastic job of driving it.
Yeah, without any trickery or any strategy, he's made up 28 spots since the start of the race, only 65 laps.
And that is the most of anybody. Jeff Burton is 2nd on that list. He's picked up 14. Jimmy Johnson, who you see there, has picked up 13.
Yeah, Burton just moved into the 3rd spot by going around Marcos Ambrose, so he has his sights set on the leaders.
So that's the farthest back Marcus has been today, and it's also the farthest forward the 31 has been this afternoon. They're all chasing right now Ryan Newman and David Rudiman, who's running 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, I really thought they'd look right back there to the 16 of Biffle. Whenever Jeff Burton was around him, I thought that Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon were going to follow suit. But I think that shows just how good Burton's car is up off the corner. Johnson and Jeff Gordon seem to be, you can see the back end of the 24 kick out a little bit, and I think that's where they're struggling to try to make these passes.
So a little wiggle out of Jeff there. Now remember our caution for Travis Quaffle's incident hitting the wall, and we were talking about the pit crew and how good they were. Look what happened to Travis's crew member. Watch the right front tire carrier. We didn't see it. Mike, what's the latest?
Well, that's A.J. Heiston. I just spoke with him, and he just kind of laughed about it, pointed to his leg. I asked him if he's okay, and he said, yeah, I'm good to go the rest of the way, guys.
Well, he's one tough guy to have a 3,400-pound race car roll over him.
A little contact there, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. Remember back to Texas earlier this year. See Kevin Harvick taking advantage of that, now going to the inside of Jeff Gordon.
I can't imagine Jeff's going to be real happy about that.
I was going to say, it's not the first time we've seen this happen. Here comes Harvick, though, as you said. He's got the better line coming through the corner. And there's Denny Hamlin starting to show some life again.
Yeah, looks like they made a nice adjustment on his race car. He's going the right direction this run.
Now Hamlin's going to go to the high side on Gordon, see if that'll work.
It provided a little drama there at the beginning, but I don't think any of us thought that Denny Hamlin was going to be down and out for this day.
Well, but it was a pretty big scare, I guarantee you, when you drop out of the top 10 that quickly. He's now side by side with Jeff.
Yeah, what I see there is a much better drive off. He's able to stay up there with Jeff Gordon, and that's the issue that they were fighting. Looks like they fixed a lot of it.
Door to door as they go down the backstretch.
I can promise you, Jeff Gordon is plenty hot under that helmet inside that race car right now. He thought that he had a spot there on Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy kind of cut him off, and it's going to cost Jeff Gordon a couple of spots.
That battle continues. And it looks like he's finally going to get him clear, and he does.
Yeah, that was Gordon just backing off, realizing they weren't going to get anywhere. All they're going to do is allow the next car to come up and possibly get that nose in there to take another spot away.
So Ryan Newman, his worst finish here in the number 39 is 7th in this race last year, and he finished 4th in the spring race. And oops, sorry, partner. Jeff Byrd has got himself such a fast race car, he couldn't wait till the end of the commercial to complete the pass for the race lead as he has gotten around Ryan Newman. Let's take you back. It just happened about a lap ago.
Yeah, you can see he's going to dive down to the inside, make this look pretty easy. As I watched this 31 car go around this racetrack, and you were talking about how he does it, if Rusty Wallace ever wondered what his car looked like with him driving it, I think this is exactly it.
I agree.
There's a view from high above. That's Tony Raines' lap traffic right now. Tony is 1 lap down in 36th. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3 in the points. And it is Harvick who is moving underneath and getting around Hamlin. And now he's trying to get around 48.
Yeah, the only way these guys know they can gain any points is be in front of that 48 at the end of the day. They're trying to make it happen right now. I think the 29 and the 11 are both a little bit better.
Well, there'd be the points if they stayed in this position. Since the restart, Denny Hamlin's picked up 7 spots. Our leader, Jeff Burton, is second on that list. He has picked up 6. So Hamlin doing a nice job with the crew making the right adjustment. There's Jeff Gordon getting into this mix as well.
You know, short track racing so much about the driver and the driver control of the throttle and all that. And Denny Hamlin is so good at that. I mean, you know they're going to get the car the way he needs it to be sooner or later. They did it a lot sooner than I thought they would do it today because they started out so bad. But now his car looks really good.
Well, remember when Jimmy and Jeff had that little bit of contact and we wondered what Jeff was thinking? Listen to the radio.
Next time you get a chance, just ask the 40 if he has a spotter. Yeah, that was a little, by 3.
Yeah, that was a little, yeah.
But he's going to get a chance here in just a minute once Kevin Harvick gets up beside him. It's probably going to allow the 11 of Denny Hamlin to get there too, and then Jeff can stick his nose in and see what he wants to do.
Well, in all fairness too, I mean the guy in front really kind of owns the racetrack. It's kind of up to the guy behind not to force the issue and get into somebody. So Jimmy had the position on him.
Yeah, but you take a chance being that front guy and chopping that guy off one too many times, then the next time you might get a little harder bump than what you're expecting.
Well, right now Kevin Harvick's got a nose in front of Jimmy, and through the corner they almost touch, and here comes Hamlin. Okay, let's flip the roles now. I asked you how Hamlin felt when he was going backwards. What's Jimmy thinking?
Jimmy's okay. He's the one that has the point lead, and he's got the 2 guys inside. He knows right now, even if it ends like this, he's not going to lose many points. We see David Rudeman trying to take the 2nd spot away from Ryan Newman now.
Yeah, Newman is falling about a 2nd behind Jeff Burton, and here comes Rudeman saying, you're not fast enough for me. I want to go around. And he does. Makes it look easy. So it is now Burton, Rudeman, Newman, Ambrose, and Harvick, your top 5. And for David, his best finish in 7 races here, 16th back in 09. So he's got the makings of a very good day. There is our race leader, Jeff Burton. His lead now up to 1.3 seconds, and he's doing this in traffic, guys.
Yeah, traffic's not bothering him too much. As long as they don't just completely stop in front of him, he disposes of them pretty quickly.
While we've got a moment, since the Chevy's out front, Chevrolet wants you and 3 of your friends to meet Kevin Harvick and Miss Sprint Cup at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Awards ceremony in Las Vegas. And you could also win 2 all-new Chevrolet Cruze LTZs to go along with the trip. For your chance to win, enter at winyourchevy.com. And let's take you up to speed, in fact. Let's start it off with Mike Massaro. Mike?
Well, Marty, after 5 chase races, Jeff Burton finds himself 10th in the standings. He was asked about that earlier this weekend, and he said he was shocked by that, disappointed and confused. I asked the question about the situation to his crew chief, Todd Barrier, and he just smirked and said, well, I guess this gets us to focus on what really means the most to us. That's winning races. This is a brand new race car built specifically for winning here in Martinsville, and right now they look awfully good with that new machine, Jamie.
And look who's lurking behind the 00, David Rudiman, qualified 8th. His team knew they had a good race car. They had an interesting problem in practice. They said they have too much forward bite. Well, now the problem, he doesn't have enough forward bite, but the car continues to be good, just a bit tight. Dave?
Jamie, Ryan Newman won the race off of pit road, but he hasn't been winning on the track right now. That car that restarted first has fallen back to 3rd. Ryan complaining the car is a little bit tight right now. Won't turn for that driver. 47 driver Marcus Ambrose, he started 2nd, running in the 4th position right now. His car was tight in the center, a little loose off. Well, now it's tighter in the center and a little looser off. So they're going to figure out which way they're going with that 47. Make some adjustments the next time. But we talked about the 29 pit crew picking up 5 spots on pit road. The guys on the crew this week, remember, were the 33 crew last week. They went to lunch with the former 29 crew this week just to make sure everyone was still on the same page in terms of teamwork and in terms of friendship. They know that management can make decisions to try to win this championship, but they want to make sure they were all still looking each other eye to eye and saying we're still buddies. Jamie?
And after that round of pit stops where they made wedge, air pressure, track bar adjustments for Denny Hamlin, he is going forward. He restarted 15th, and now he just moved into the 6th position behind the 29 of Kevin Harvick. The team came on the radio and said you had something wrong with the left rear. It had tremendous buildup. He's saying the car is just a little tight in the center. Doc?
Back in 7th spot, 6-time Martinsville winner. There's Jimmy Johnson. He started 19th, drove it to the top 5, and has slipped back now to 7th. Jimmy's saying the car a little bit too tight. They came in, made a track bar adjustment, pulled out the right front fender where he had gotten together with a 31 car early in the race. It's okay. It's still pedaling a little bit, saying tight in the middle and a little bit tight off. Now behind him in 8th position, you heard the comment a minute ago where Jeff Gordon asked if the 48 car had a spotter. Jeff's spotter, Jeff Dickerson, said, we're okay. The front end has no damage yet. Well, that indicates that he knows that we're at Martinsville. Jeff Gordon said, we've been very good early in the race. The key for us to win today is to be good in the final 100 laps. Behind him is a 20 car, Joey Logano. They made an adjustment on the car. Joey was a little bit tight, track bar down, air pressure change. Joey has been very, very quiet on the radio. What he did say a moment ago was, hey guys, the changes were really good. I just need some more to help the car. Jamie.
Well, Greg Biffle was so thrilled with his qualifying effort at 3rd. That was the best he's had. He joked. He didn't even know where the media center was. He's never been that good here. Well, he was so confident in his race car after practice yesterday. He joked with some people on the team and said he cleared out a spot in his house with a big trophy. That clock. So far, the car is good. Marty?
All right, thank you, Jamie. As there you see Juan Pablo Montoya, and all of a sudden there is the pass for 5th as Denny Hamlin goes around the 29 of Kevin Harvick. So Hamlin working his way back towards the front. On board with Harvick.
See that drive off that Denny Hamlin really gets. That's what's making the difference in this car going forward instead of backwards now.
20% of this race is in the books, and that man, Jeff Burton, is out in front. He led 140 laps here in the spring, but remember, a flat tire forced him to a 20th place finish. He must change that today.
Second caution of the race out. Elliott Sadler had trouble on the track.
Yeah, he just had a problem up there at the right front, got stopped, and then he took back off. And I'll tell you what, I don't think NASCAR is going to like that, guys.
Yeah, you can't stop on the racetrack. If you have an incident or something's wrong and you stop, you get out of your car, you get a caution.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler is going to be held for 2 laps for intentionally bringing out the caution by stopping on the racetrack. Leaders are on pit road for service at the 112th lap. Mike?
And Jeff Burton has already completed his stop. All he was looking for was a little bit more rear grip. They made a slight air pressure adjustment to the right side tires. Dave?
Marcus Ambrose is in for 4 tires as well. Remember that car was still tight in the center and loose off. 39 of Ryan Newman. He'll get a wedge adjustment. Too tight rolling the center. Also air pressure down the left side tires. Jamie.
Denny Hamlin says he's just a bit tight in the center. Wants it to turn a little bit better. Air pressure out of the front and the double zeros in as well. But Denny Hamlin going to work. Sunoco fuel and 4 tires. He's down and away, guys, and he gains, looks like 1 position off the line there.
Greg Biffle, the big gainer on that round of pit stops, up 6 positions for the 16 crew. Put him into the top 5. Jeff Burton holds the lead. We're back for the restart to Martinsville in just a minute.
Back here at Martinsville, where we're getting ready for the restart. Lucky Dog went to Robbie Gordon. That gives us a total of 33 cars on the lead lap. 3 cars off the track. Blaney, Castle, and Gilliland. And it's Jeff Burton on point. He has the inside, and he's got the lead. Rudeman, Newman duking it out for second and third. And behind it is Biffle and Denny Hamlin with Kevin Harvick right in the mix as well. If you're wondering where Jimmy Johnson is, he's back in 11th.
Yeah, you see Greg Biffle there. We talked about how many spots he picked up. He's benefited from having that second stall. He's got a clear in and a clear out with Hamlin there, just like he has on that first stall. So pit crew doing a nice job.
Harvick in front of Hamlin now, and there's Ambrose, who started on the outside of the front row, hits the curb. That opens the door for Gordon. Here he comes, and Jimmy's going to follow him.
Yeah, it just takes a split second, just a little bit on that curb. It throws you off. It throws your timing off. You just can't get into the throttle. Opens the door down the inside, and here comes Jimmy Johnson.
Did you notice a little smoke, maybe a little tire rub between the 48 and the 47? The 48's right front, and the left rear of the 47. Yeah. And it is the 47 that's got a tire. And he's going around. Can he keep it off the wall? Barely. Third caution's out.
Left rear damage.
So that little bit of contact between Jimmy Johnson and Marcus is what ended up with a flat left rear. Here's where he's going to hit that curb.
Yeah, you can see he gets on the curb right there. Has to get out of the throttle. That allows Jeff Gordon to go by. See right here, Jimmy gets into the left rear just a little bit. May have just knocked the valve stem out. Right there.
And that's the net result. Remember, no inner liners when we're running on the short track. That was the battle for 9th on the racetrack. And there's the damage on the exhaust section right there on the 48.
Yeah, that's what cuts these tires or knocks the valve stem out, is that exhaust sticking out there, and you get that close. That goes actually up into the wheel sometimes and will just knock that valve stem out.
Yeah, you can see it right there where it gouged up the side of that 47. Looks like Marcus Ambrose is going to stay on the lead lap.
Just barely he did, but he did.
Well, we always talk about good pit stops. It's time for our AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award, and Jeff Gordon's team is currently in the lead. I'm sorry, we'll do that a little bit later. Let's talk about the Fast Five.
Well, Marty, these are the fastest 4-tire stops the last caution flag. You see Tony Stewart's crew doing a great job, but how about the 33 car? Clint Boyer, that's the team off of Kevin Harvick's pit crew, doing a good job, made the Fast Five that round.
Now let's try the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. It's Gordon's team currently in the lead. You help determine the standings. Vote from your AT&T phone by texting the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think is the fastest and the most valuable. Under our third caution after Marcus Ambrose spins as a result of contact between the 48 and his 47 car. Let's quickly go to the Craftsman Tech Garage and show you exactly what happened here.
Thanks, guys. The teams actually use short track wheels where they remove the valve stem right here and weld that hole up. They put the valve stem out here. But anyway, when you get this close, the tailpipes stick out. Like Andy said a while ago, these tailpipes rip the sidewall out of the tire. You're pretty much on your own after that. Guys?
All right, let's get ready for the restart. Thanks, Tim. 34 of Tony Raines gets the free pass. It is Jeff Burton on the inside, Ryan Newman right alongside. Then in row 2, it's Ruderman, Biffle, followed by Harvick, Hamlin, Stewart, Gordon, Johnson, Logano. That's your top 10. And we're green again at Martinsville.
See if David Ruderman can get that second spot back. He lost it after starting on the outside. Ryan Newman was able to take that spot away, and he restarted third last time.
Well, Newman is hanging. Yeah, he's hanging tough on that outside line, and they come across the stripe. Newman actually was shown as the leader for that lap. He's still hanging on. Burton gets a half a car length on him. Here comes Ruderman to slide underneath. Biffle's going to tuck in behind the 00. So Burton back out in front. Notice after Biffle, you've got Kevin Harvick and then Denny Hamlin. A little bit further back, Tony Stewart with Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, with Clint Bowyer now up into the mix, and Joey Logano's been hanging around the top 10 for the last 20, 30 laps.
It looks like Clint Bowyer's done a little work on his car too. That pit crew doing a nice job, and then it looks like his car is better. We saw that yesterday in practice, but that first run he didn't look all that spectacular. So he's going to stick his nose in there on Jeff Gordon here, making a little room. Yeah, that's the way you do it. Jeff Gordon not having any of that.
Well, Johnson got around Jeff, but Bowyer not successful. So leave Jeff in the 9th position. Bowyer in 10th. A little bit further back, side-by-side action. First time we've actually been able to talk about Kyle Busch as he's side-by-side with Juan Pablo Montoya. This car has not moved forward at all, guys. He's in 14th. That's the highest he's been all day.
The good thing about it is you got plenty of time to get there, and you're going to have enough pit stops to work on your race car. Got trouble, Kenny Schrader in the 26.
Yeah, he spins it around on the backstretch coming out of turn number 2. Elliott Sadler, and you heard somebody say Sadler's trying to back up Joe Nemechek, and he's doing it with his bumper.
Yeah, Schrader can't get his car started. Elliott's trapped there and going to lose another lap.
Well, Elliott's already 12 laps down in 40th. We're having a lengthy stop after he brought out the caution when he had a tire go down. Let's go back and show you what happened.
547 may have gotten in the back of Kenny.
Oh, that looked like Casey Mears.
Yeah, it was kind of a stack up, really.
Yeah. And Kenny got the worst of it, that's for sure. And then there you see Elliott and Joe Nemechek come in. Everybody's back under power. And the worst for wear is the 26. So our 4th caution now. Gives us time to tell you there's still only 3 cars that are out of this race. Blaney, Castle, and Gilliland. And I guess we could wish happy birthday to Dave Blaney. He's 48 today. Even though he is behind the wall. We'll find some way to celebrate, I'm sure, by the time the day's over. Free pass is going to go to Casey Mears. That will give us a total of 34 cars back on the lead lap. And the biggest mover in the race has been Kevin Harvick. He has come up 32 spots. He's now in the 4th position. A couple of guys are going to be coming, led by Juan Pablo Montoya. Paul Menard is following. Dale Jr., the 83 of Kasey Kahne, McMurray et al.
Yeah, these guys are trying to get all sequence a little bit, see what they can do. Mike?
And the big concern on the 42 team throughout the course of the entire weekend has been brakes. They've been monitoring that very closely. They'll clean off the grill, making sure all those ducts are clean and they get enough air to the brakes. But other than that, no adjustments on the 42. 4 tires, Dave.
Paul Menard had been running in the 18th position, Mike. They're going to make a 4-tire change, air pressure adjustment, filling full of Sunoco fuel. His car had been tight most of the day today. Give a small adjustment to help it in that direction. Paul leaves.
You see Marcus Ambrose in there. He had cycled back to 31st after he brought out our 3rd caution with his cut tire. And now as he gets ready, he stalls it momentarily, gets it back under power, and he'll get back out into the fray, and we'll realign everything. As you can see, here comes the pace car, and lights are still on, so it looks like we're going to go at least one more time.
It's been about 20 laps since the leaders pitted, and you see those cars that just made that pit stop. Should they run about 20 more, you might see a lot of the leaders come in and some of those cars stay out. And that's kind of the strategy I'm sure Marcus Ambrose is on, that they, that's a way to get that track position back that they lost with that flat tire.
Yeah, a couple other teams that are kind of in that too that took advantage of that. The 1 and the 6 that we reported earlier had pit road speeding penalties, had to start at the rear of the pack. They've worked their way forward, but that's what they want to do, is try to get off sequence a little bit, get some of that track position back.
The top 14 stayed out. Let's talk about Sprint, because it's bringing you an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network. And you can see that Jimmy Johnson is still our points leader, but the way things are shaking out right now, the lead would be cut down to 23 to Denny Hamlin and 59 back to Kevin Harvick. And as we mentioned before, biggest mover of the race, 32 spots for Kevin Harvick. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Before the restart, let's check in on Jeff Gordon's radio.
Just killing us, man. Absolutely killing us. You mean outside? I mean, just restarts, traffic, the bottom. I mean, I'm just really, really tight right now.
So straight from Jeff, really tight. Up front, Jeff Burton's got himself a great race car. Newman, Ruderman, Harvick, Hamlin, Biffle, Stewart, Johnson, Gordon in 9th, Boyer in 10th. The 78 was too fast on pit road. Regan Smith goes to the rear.
Well, Burton really had them slowed down there. A lot of stacking up, people running into each other.
Somehow everybody managed to survive. Now he stretches it out. Ryan Newman tucks into 2nd place. And on the outside, that's Kevin Harvick going around David Ruderman.
Yeah, we'll see just how good Harvick's car is if he can make that pass on the high side.
He's still hanging on to it. Ruderman now starting to get that good bite that we saw him earlier have, and they're side by side into 3.
Harvick's hanging tough. He'd like to get it where Ruderman would slip a little bit. He's trying to pin him down to see if he can keep him from getting all the way in the throttle and take that spot away. He really wants to get back to the bottom.
Watching from Denny Hamlin's view there momentarily, and he almost has him cleared, and now he finally does.
Yeah, nice move that's a power move by Kevin Harvick.
I think that's a good sign for Kevin Harvick's car, but also I think the track is starting to get a little better. I don't see it blackening up like I usually see it, but it has started to take a little bit of rubber on that outside lane. We might see some more of that later in the race.
Yeah, I was concerned with all the heat that we were going to have here today that we might get a lot of that rubber buildup, which makes it very difficult to navigate that outside lane.
And you heard the guys talk about the restart. There you see what happened, and chain reaction all the way back, and it really hurt the 48. Right now you can see Jeff Burton trying to stretch it out just a little bit more. There's our first side-by-side action. Joey Logano on the outside, Clint Boyer. And now Logano gets in front of Boyer.
Yeah, remember back, Joey Logano finished 2nd in the race here back in the spring. He and the 18 both decided to use a lot of the 11 setup and made it work for them too.
Juan Pablo Montoya, remember he was the first car to come in and pit. Well, he's in a log jam right now. He's got Kasey Kahne in front of him. That's Kenseth underneath him. Paul Menard behind him, and he's going to try and make it work on the outside like Harvick did. Ooh. Contact between he and Kenseth. They're still side by side.
Yeah, and you can make that outside work for a few laps, but it's not going to be that important or that advantageous after you get a few laps on the tires. Then you're going to need to get back to the bottom. See Kenseth kind of use him up going down into 3.
2 times they've had contact in the last 2 laps, and now
maybe
Montoya ducks underneath. Yes, sir. Keep an eye on that left rear tire.
Yeah, you have to be careful that splitter get in there. Just we saw Tim Brewer talking about. It's easy to cut the sidewall of the tire.
Battle for 2nd, Kevin Harvick. Look out today, Harvick fans. Your man is now in 2nd place. Richard Childress Racing running 1-2. And a little bit further back, Tony Stewart Here comes Jeff Gordon, both underneath the 16.
Yeah, I saw Tony. We saw him struggle in practice yesterday, but it looks like he's made some adjustments, got his car moving forward.
Gordon underneath Greg as well, and here comes Logano trying to follow as well. That is 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th on the racetrack. Up here with Hamlin, he's trying to hold off the double O of Ruderman. He's got the 4th spot. Ruderman wants it, and all of a sudden Ruderman gets passed on the outside by Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, it looks like Ruderman's struggling a little bit more after this latest restart. Our 2 championship contenders, actually all 3 of them now up into the top 5.
So there is number 1 and 2 in the points, and right now Hamlin's ahead of Jimmy Johnson, but there's still a long way to go. We're not even halfway at Martinsville. Go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Ryan Truex during the commercial unscheduled pit stop. He is now 2 laps down in 35th position. Everybody's chasing the 31, lower left of your screen, Jeff Byrd. He won here back in '97 driving for Jack Roush. That's his only win here. And in 2nd place, Kevin Harvick's never even had a top 5 here at Martinsville. He's the only active track he does not have a top 5 finish. But boy, this car has been flying. Let's also get a call for Kyle Busch, the man who finished 2nd in yesterday's truck race. You can see his cycle there. He has finally found the combination. Dave Rogers has given him something good. How about it, Mike?
Yeah, Marty, absolutely on the charge. Started 26th, has made his way all the way up inside the top 15 here. Car was not perfect to start the race. They've gone to work on it. He couldn't get off the corner. They made a track bar adjustment the first time down pit road, a wedge adjustment the next time, and suddenly the car feels a lot more comfortable to Kyle. He's moving forward. You know, I spoke with his crew chief, Dave Rogers, before the race about their position right now in this championship hunt. He said, not even worried about the big trophy right now. We're chasing the little ones.
All right, thanks, Mike. And let me correct him. I think I said Ryan Truex. Of course, it was Martin Truex in the 56. And right now, you can see the 11 of Denny Hamlin has taken over the 3rd spot from Ryan Newman. So it's Burton, Harvick, Hamlin, Newman, and points leader Jimmy Johnson. That's your top 5. Let's take a look at the calendar. NASCAR Now, the post-race wrap-up tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, and then Monday the roundtable at 5 o'clock Eastern. And our next stop on the Sprint Cup Series, the Amp Energy Juice 500 at Talladega, 1 p.m. Eastern Time next Sunday on ESPN. Countdown will kick it off at noon on ESPN2.
168 laps are complete. Work on the 169th at Martinsville Speedway, the only short track race in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. You're looking at the leader, car 31, Jeff Burton. And from the pit studio with 7-time Martinsville winner Rusty Wallace and team owner Brad Daugherty, Burton leading a Richard Childress Racing charge as we watch to see if Martin Truex Jr. is going to make it back to the pit road.
Oh, almost. He's not quite going to make it, guys.
Caution is out. Yellow flag for the 5th time in the race. For Truex Jr.'s car, looks like he's leaning on that starter, and he's just about drained the battery out trying to get it off the track.
Yeah, I think it's pretty well stopped on it. Just barely moving right now. Doc, what's happened down there with him?
Rusty, they keep asking Martin. He just said it just shut off. They said, did it give any indication? Was it sputtering? Was it ignition? He said, no, it just shut off. They checked the cutoff switch on the steering wheel, and he said, I don't know what happened, but I was just coming off the corner, and the thing just shut completely off, and nothing will work now. So he just rolled to a stop. They got to get him on the pit road and figure out exactly what happened.
All right, thank you, Doc. So now what this sets up is an interesting situation. When they remove that 56 car from the pit road entrance and open pit road, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the farthest up of the cars that stopped on the last caution. He made his way up to 14th. Does he stay out here? Do they take the track position? Or do they try and stay on sync with some of the other guys on tires?
Well, I think right now, this particular position, I'd be staying on sync with everybody else. He's got himself pretty far up there, 14th position. If all those leaders pit for 4, hey, man, I'm coming for 4. I don't want to get screwed up and get out of the game right now. He's done a good job getting up there.
Boy, we have seen at the end of races, being in sync is very important. But, hey, why not stay out and take a chance? It's getting really racy right now. You're going to have an opportunity to be up front, possibly catch some more cautions and maintain that track position, then get on pit road under another yellow flag. Maybe take a run at it. He's had a tough year. Take a shot and see what happens.
You're saying go for it.
Go for it.
All right.
Let's see. The pit road is open. Jeff Burton has the very first stall at pit entrance. Michael, here he comes.
And Alan, he said over the radio just before this round of stops, this is the best this car has turned all day. Just look looking for a little bit more rear grip. Todd Berrier electing to make a slight air pressure adjustment to the right rear tire. A 4-tire change in Sunoco race fuel on the 31, Dave.
Ryan Newman had been running in the 4th position. Kevin Harvick had been running in the 2nd position. Newman's car was a little bit free in and off after he got passed by the 11. He reported that. So for Newman, it'll be 4 tires and a track bar adjustment. For the 29 of Harvick, the middle was better, but you made me looser up. That wedge adjustment, let's put it back. So that'll be a reverse adjustment on the 29. Jamie?
The 11 and Denny Hamlin says he starts off just a bit tight, needs a little more drive off. He's good in the center. It's going to be 4 tires, fill it up with fuel, a half round down, wedge in the left rear. You see the rest of the field coming, the 31 to 29. Denny Hamlin down and away in 2nd, guys.
By virtue of where their pit stalls are on the pit lane, Kevin Harvick did just lead a lap for bonus points of the championship. The race off pit road, though, it is Hamlin jumping ahead of Harvick into 2nd. He'll have that outside lane for the restart. See if Mr. Martinsville can keep it going.
Let's do it.
With the season on the line, the Cowboys are fighting to climb back into contention. Tony Romo leads Dallas against Eli and the Giants, who are on a 3-game roll. Can Dallas turn the tide at home, or they fall to their NFC East rival? It's Giants-Cowboys on ESPN's Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern, and our coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown, served up by Applebee's. Back here at the Tums Fast Relief 500 at Martinsville. And let's take a look at the pit stops of the 48 for Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, you can see right there. He gained a spot in that first round of pit stops, but he's lost 7 spots in the next 2. See that 15.1 and 14.4. That'll do it every time. I mean, these guys are making 12-second or better pit stops.
Tony Stewart speeding, so he's at the back of the field. Also wave arounds, Gilliland, Quapple, Yaley, Sadler at the 34. Tony Raines gets the free pass. It's Burton, Hamlin, Harvick, Newman, Ruderman. We're green.
Yeah, Greg Biffle also had to come back to pit road. They didn't have all the lug nuts on. Got to get everything done in there.
Well, that outside lane just can't get going as good as the guys on the bottom. You see Denny Hamlin lost a spot to Harvick.
Battle for 4th. Newman's on the high side with David Ruderman underneath him. Right behind Ruderman is Jimmy Johnson. And the 24, Jeff Gordon.
And I'd have to say, as far as Hamlin goes, later in the race, he might try to press that issue and make that outside work a little bit harder. Now's not the time. He wants to get in just a nice little safe spot there on this restart. Click away some laps.
Just past the bottom of the hour. If you're just tuning in, we're working lap number 180 of 500. Our leader is Jeff Burton. His Richard Childress Racing teammate, Kevin Harvick, who is 3rd in the championship points, is running 2nd. Denny Hamlin, 2nd in the points, is running 3rd. And there they go 3 wide with the points leader, Jenny Johnson.
Yeah, we might see that might work next week. That doesn't work too good here at Martinsville, though. They worked it out.
See where the points would be, and they quickly shift as the drivers swap positions. Jimmy right there getting around David Ruderman now, and Ruderman tucks in. And now he's side by side with the 39 of Ryan Newman.
You see Jimmy Johnson, even with what we showed there with losing some spots in the pits, I was concerned about their pit stop being behind the one, getting blocked in there some during the day, but Jimmy's making up for it on the racetrack. They do have this car pretty fast, especially on new tires.
Got a car slow coming out the pit lane, no harm, nobody getting in the way there. It is the 80 or the 64 Landon Castle.
Ryan Newman got hung up on the outside there, as we've seen a number of times. Got past, lost 3 spots before he could get back to the bottom.
There you see the difference the leader has over 2nd and 3rd, and then how it sort of gets a little tighter further back. Paul Menard trying to hold off the 99 of Carl Edwards. And there's Clint Boyer right behind Carl. Now, if you're wondering what happened to Greg Biffle, he was running in the top 10. He's dropped way back. Jamie, what's the story?
Well, Marty, after his first pit stop, he had to re-pit. They didn't get enough lug nuts on the left rear, and that cost him severely. He's back in 26th.
And he restarted 29th, and as far as Tony Stewart, he restarted 33rd. He is back up to 31st after his speeding penalty, and you saw the puff of smoke. And oh man,
they've been trying that coming.
Regan Smith ends up getting the worst of it, and he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he was a victim right there.
And Regan is coming off some great runs for that team. He was 12th at California, 13th at Charlotte, his best of 2010. And that's what's left after banging the wall. So a tough break for Regan in the 78.
The batteries are hanging out of it, Mark.
And here we are at lap 186, guys, and we talk about tempers flaring.
Come on.
That was a perfect example of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We saw some guys arguing over a little bit of turf there, and unfortunately, it's somebody that had nothing to do with any of it that gets caught up. And that's why the guys coming in here in the chase, you can see right here, the 77 gets into the 82, gets him a little sideways off the corner. Now, Sam Hornish is going to try to go to the inside. Scott Speed wasn't having any of that. And then Hornish just runs into the back and punts him pretty hard right into the 78. And they all go on except for Regan Smith gets the worst of it.
And don't forget Sam Hornish and Scott Speed looking for rides next year. Neither one guaranteed a seat as of right now.
And I was going to say, that's exactly what the guys racing in the chase and trying to gain points think. That's their biggest fear here is they run up on somebody or get caught up in someone else's misfortune there, and it ends up costing them a lot of spots. So you have to try to keep your head about you all day.
Well, we're under our 6th caution here. We've had 7 different leaders with 10 lead changes, and we're far from over at Martinsville. Back at Martinsville, Kenny Schrader gets the free pass. 33 cars now on the lead lap. Up front, it's Jeff Burton on the inside again, the race leader. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, and we're green. Hamlin trying to get underneath Harvick. They're side by side. We saw Harvick hold on to this outside line before and make it work for him, but not this time.
Well, it's kind of a reverse of roles there because the 11 car was on the outside the last restart, and Harvick got by him and kind of just flip-flopped this time.
Yeah, Jeff Burton did a nice job. He's doing a great job on his restarts. He's stacking a lot of people up, and he had Harvick a little off balance on that, and that allowed the 11 to be right beside him then.
Newman going underneath the 00, little contact between he and David Rudman. And look at Dale Jr. Jr. trying to take a peek on the inside of Ryan. Thinks better of it.
Well, Junior's got a good race car up here, and he knew that was going to be press on the issue and trying to go up to Ryan Newman. So just waited a second, took that spot from the 00.
And now Junior up to
7, 33.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Boyer into the wall between turns 3 and 4.
That was all Clint. He just drove in too hard.
Here, left side.
He had a big run. He made a pass on the outside in turn 1 and 2 and had a lot of momentum going down into 3, right behind Kurt Busch.
Crank it on up, turn. Come on.
I think he was getting ready to hit the back bumper of Kurt Busch, and he got on the brakes a little too hard and wheel hopped it.
He was 13th at the time of the crash. It started the race in 17th. Here's another look.
Right there, looks like he just locked those rear wheels up. That's a shame, too, because he had a car that was really coming on the outside. He said he made a pass. Yeah, you hear it wheel hopping right there.
Hang on to it. Hang on to it. All right. We hit the wall.
So we talked about that happens most of the time. Just you get that transition from the asphalt to the concrete, which is all the way through the corners. Get in there a little bit hot and a little too hard on the brakes. That's exactly what happens. Perfect example.
So Clint makes a turn, and he comes right down in towards the garage area. 7 cautions now for 35 laps. And look at this. Our first 111 laps, just 1. In our last 83, we've now had 6. The free pass will go to the 71 of Hermie Sadler. He'll still be 1 lap down. And we'll have a total of 32 on the lead lap with Burton still out in front at Martinsville. Back here at Martinsville as we're getting ready to complete our 7th caution, and it is Jeff Burton out front. And let's go back to the last restart because a couple of things you guys have noticed.
Well, we've seen every restart where Jeff Burton was the leader. You can see right here as he comes to that line. Now that was one previous where we had Denny Hamlin up on the outside. See, that one, he was kind of a rolling start there and got things going. But this last one, where he kind of slowed things down, he's being warned by NASCAR that not to basically is to maintain his speed. Some drivers, I think, are complaining that they think that he's brake checking.
But let's listen to Denny Hamlin's radio.
And that 31 is brake checking the field really, really bad. Yeah, NASCAR is raising Cain about it. He's done it 4 times now.
And as Dale mentioned, they have warned the 31. And as we come by here, look on the right side there. You'll see that there's the 2 stripes and there's the 1 stripe. That's the area where you have to go on the restart.
You can't go before the 2, and you've got to be going by the 1. So.
Well, they'll throw the green flag. If the leader passes that second one, then they'll start the race, and then the outside guy can go ahead and beat that inside guy.
Well, we heard from Denny Hamlin's radio. Let's listen in on Jeff Burton.
I took off. I don't understand what they want me to do different than that. I really don't. All I did was leave. If there's any way you could get some clarification on what they didn't like, it would help me, because all I did was accelerate off turn 4 at a steady pace, and then took off. That's all I did.
All right, let's go back to an earlier restart and show you what Denny might be talking about.
These other guys are anticipating.
Yeah, I think it's a relative thing. You see Jeff Burton's not really doing anything. He's just sitting there, and everybody else is starting to go. Now let's look at this one.
And this is
pretty
through. It's Burton, Hamlin, Harvick, Johnson, and Gordon. That's your top 5.
The cars on the outside are getting kind of antsy because they know they're going to get freight trained if they don't get a really good start. So they're trying to anticipate the leader jump.
Boy, Hamlin doing a good job of hanging on that outside line.
Yeah, you see the run that Jeff Burton got off of turn 4 there, though. Looks like he's going to be able to maybe clear him as they come out of 2.
And you're right, DJ, and here comes Kevin Harvick.
But Hamlin's going to get clear, though.
Denny does.
Yeah, and he was able to hang there just enough. And that's all that you have to do. Is that if you can hang there for about a lap and a half, you might get yourself in a nice position down and be able to get to the bottom.
Ryan Newman's got his hands full with Jeff Gordon, and here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. right underneath the 39.
Junior having a great race today. His car really hooked up.
That is for 6th position on the racetrack. Ludeman right behind the 2 of them. Kyle Busch and Joey Logano side by side a little bit further back. And Junior does clear him. Now Logano going to try the high side on Rudeman. And Rudeman gets in front of him. Here comes Kyle trying to look under Joey. Kurt Busch right behind his brother. Whoa, contact between the teammates. And it's going to allow Kurt to potentially get around the 18. Let's go back up to the battle for second, because Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin going after each other, and Harvick's got the spot.
Yeah, wasn't much of a battle there. Kevin Harvick's car is just that good that he pretty much just caught Denny Hamlin and drove by him.
And now Hamlin's under attack from the one guy he doesn't even want to see anywhere close to his mirrors. And that's what it looks like.
Yeah, he can feel him now. A little nudge on the back bumper. Dave?
Well, you talked about Harvick's car being so good. He told the media this week about his race here in March when he finished 35th. They had a right rear brake caliper that went bad. He said everything on our car is better than it was here in March, and he's proven it today. In fact, when they went down about 30 laps replacing that right rear brake caliper in March, they made it into a test session, and Gil Martin told me we threw out a lot of things we didn't want to try when we came back here, and it maximized our practice time this weekend.
And as you finish up, Dave, we're going to zero in on the teammates. Jeff is underneath Jimmy. This has been going on for the last couple of laps.
Well, it's been pretty clean so far because Jimmy's giving him room. Jeff Gordon means to take this spot away right now.
Drove it in a little harder there.
Side by side through 3 and 4.
And they had contact there. You can see Jimmy just give him the spot. Now, he got to get back to the bottom where he was going to lose another spot possibly to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
When was the last time that you could include Dale Earnhardt Jr. this far up with 2 other of his teammates? As let's put the focus on Junior in our Gillette Pro Glide profile. Started 28th and is now 6th. And a spin with the 98 of Paul Menard. And we have another caution out, number 8.
87 here. They're clear. They're clear. Caution's out.
Looking for damage on the car. There's a little bit on the right front, but I think that was from earlier. He was running 19th at the time. It's Eric Almirola in the 9.
That's his teammate.
Oops. Yeah, that won't work.
Teammates racing each other hard today.
Of course, Paul will be going over to Richard Childress Racing next year. There's another view.
We saw 18 and the 20 get together earlier, and then see this. We saw Jimmy and Jeff racing each other hard but clean.
Well, and we're still 40 laps from halfway. Can you imagine what the temps are going to be like?
Looks like Junior made a pit stop. Yeah, there's like the back half of the field coming in.
Yep. Several takers. And Junior, he was in 6th position. He is the first of the group to come in. Doc?
Dale Earnhardt Jr., as you guys at Chronicles, car has a very good race car. It's really good on short runs. They were trying to make some air pressure changes to get the car to turn middle in the corner. Lance McGrew had done that, and Junior said the car is good, but after about 30 laps, it gets very loose. 4 tires, he's down and away, and almost gets into the 71 car. Jamie.
And the 99 at Carl Edwards is in. He's been watching his temps. They got up to about 250. He's also saying he's tight in the center. 4 tires is the call right now, filled up with Sunoco fuel. Doesn't look like any major chassis. Oh, they were holding the wrench, so they did make a chassis adjustment. Carl Edwards down and away.
And you can see exactly how tight it is when they come out, and especially when there's a log jam of 3 of them. And you can see they actually stop them until they have enough room to get back on track. Back here at Martinsville, the 71 of Hermie Sadler will get the free pass, gives us 32 cars on the lead lap. Bobby Labonte is now off track, as is Regan Smith after his crash. They are the only ones besides now Clint Boyer. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing, it is Burton, Harvick, Hamlin, Gordon, and Johnson, your top 5.
Kevin Harvick going to try to make this outside work for the lead here.
Battle for the race lead, and Harvick trying to get around Jeff Burton on that high side. Here comes Gordon following him.
Oh, yeah, cut down across Burton's nose a little bit. He couldn't get in the throttle. He's going to take the lead.
Wow. From the outside, Kevin Harvick takes over the race lead. Now it's Gordon and Denny side by side.
We'll have to remember that for later in the race if he happens to get in that situation. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen our last caution.
Let me update you on one thing. Biffle had the guys over the wall too soon on his pit stop. He had to go to the rear. He's shown in 32nd position.
That's the second penalty today for Biffle.
Not been a good day for the 16. Ruderman, Joey Logano, they're going side by side through the corner.
At the Busch brothers side by side down the back stretch.
Behind them, yes, there they are. With Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, Kurt and Kyle have made a nice run towards the front of the pack up to the top 10, because early in this race they didn't look like they had very good race cars, but see Kyle trying to make the outside work now.
Kyle shown in 9th. Now he's on the high side of his teammate. Oh, got a little loose, almost hit the wall.
Hey, you do that about every lap driving these things, especially if you're on that outside. As you get off and down the straightaway, you think, well, I missed it. I'm going to miss that wall one more time.
From on board Kyle. Side by side again. Joey's not giving it to him, that's for sure.
No, he has the preferred line. He's not going to give that. You see, now Kyle's going to fall back in before he loses that next spot to his brother Kurt.
Keselowski's got his hands full now with Tony Stewart.
Yeah, and there's Dale Jr. in that mix. We'll have to watch him and see how those 4 tires work for him. He was the first one to come, gave up the 6th spot.
Mark Martin's been a pinball out here for the last few laps, being knocked around on the straightaway and getting into turn 3.
Getting underneath Robbie Gordon there.
Now here he goes.
Robbie then 24th position. A.J. Allmendinger coming along for the ride. There's Marcus Ambrose and Paul Menard. Oh, little, I didn't like whatever you did to me earlier. Back towards the front. Denny Hamlin has his mirrors full of Jeff Gordon, and Gordon's got Jimmy Johnson right behind him. 3rd, 4th, and 5th in your screen. And right now, let's check on the battle for 12th. Keselowski hanging on. Here comes Junior underneath McMurray. And Dale Jr. right now is 13th. Let's get an update from pit road. Doc?
We saw the pit stop for the 88 car, guys. He said he was having a little bit of trouble getting the car to turn in the middle. And as you see, this pass for the lead up front, the 31 car goes back around the 29 of Kevin Harvick, and teammates swap it back again. But getting back to Dale Earnhardt Jr., we talked about how the car was having trouble turning in the middle of the corner. That pit stop, 4 tires, track bar, and they made an air pressure adjustment on the left side tires only. And now that 88 car has flat taken off, guys.
Well, another guy let's give a shout out to, Tony Stewart. Remember, he had a penalty earlier in this race, and he's right in front of him there in 11th and about to move into the top 10 as he goes underneath Kurt Busch.
Yeah, I was talking to Tony Stewart on Friday. He was excited to be back here, said he loves racing at this racetrack. I know he didn't plan on having a penalty and have to go to the back and work his way up, but looks like they've got this 14 car running pretty stout right now.
He locks down that position.
Oh, trouble. Martin got hit again.
Mark has turned it around. He's into the front stretch wall. And there is damage on the number 5.
Yeah, Mark, I think, was just trying to make a pass there. Got cut down on and got run into from behind.
He was 24th. And you can see how bad it is.
It's been about 50 laps since the leaders pitted. Saw that last caution, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Quite a few other ones made pit stops. We'll see if this doesn't kind of shuffle the field a little. Be an opportunity for those cars to stay out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. running 12th. Pitted on lap 211 about 15 laps ago.
Well, to give you an idea, guys, as we take another look at this.
Kind of stacked up right there.
Yeah, Mark was trying to go around. He was getting held up by the 26 a little, and A.J. Allmendinger got into Mark and turned him around. I don't think anything intentional, just racing at Martinsville.
As we mentioned, it's our 9th caution. If you're wondering, last October we had 15, the most ever back in 07, 21.
These boys might want to challenge that today.
They might, because we haven't even hit halfway yet. And meanwhile, up front, Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, and Denny Hamlin maintain that 1, 2, 3 position.
Pit road should be open this lap.
Getting word from NASCAR officials they are going to dock the 82 of Scott Speed 1 lap for speeding on pit road. And that would put Speed 1 lap down in 33rd. All right, let's send it to Mike Massaro.
And Marty, the last time the 31 came down pit road, they lowered the air pressure in the right rear. Jeff did not like the way that the car felt afterwards. So on this stop, they're going to raise the pressure on both right side tires. A 4-tire change in fuel for Byrd. Doc?
48 car Jimmy Johnson was going to stay out when everyone else made the call to come on the pit road. He decided to come in. He said the car a little bit lazy in the middle of the corner. You see the track bar, you see the adjustment there on the chassis. Dave.
Second place Kevin Harvick says I could always use a little more forward bite, and I'll get it with 4 tires, no chassis adjustments. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin saying his car not as good with rubber buildup on the track. 4 tires, air pressure going back up on that track bar. There goes the 39 past the 11, taking their time on the left sides, guys. He's down and away, loses a spot.
Well, and Ryan Newman, we're checking to see if he may have taken 2 tires because he comes out of this first on the race off pit road. And it was 2 tires for the 39 that we have confirmed. So a little strategy for the first time today where we've seen that move made. So put Mr. Newman back in front. It'll be our 14th lead change when he comes across the stripe. And while we've got a moment, let's send it down to the ESPN pit studio with Alan Bestwick for our race rundown.
All right, Marty, thanks. So as the field is shuffled up because of the strategy we just saw in the caution, let's take a look at what's happened so far as we are nearing halfway in our race. Jeff Burton took the green flag in this one back in 18th position, ran up here to take the lead from Ryan Newman. 83 laps in. Burton's looked strong.
Burton is really strong. The car's been working good. He's braking good. Seems no problems with this car so far. And he's actually got his restarts figured out now.
Jimmy Johnson has, I'll call this, been a battling day for the 48.
He really has. He's been back in traffic some. He's had to work his way up from the 19th position, got himself in good position. He's been up in the mix, top 10, top 5 most of the day. He's around in the hunt. Watch his cat as we get towards the end of the day.
Denny Hamlin started on the pole. He fell back in the field in the first run of the race. He went way back, as a matter of fact. And then they found out on the first pit stop they had an unusual air pressure buildup in the left rear. They fixed that. He went right back to the front.
Oh, yeah, it's just a weird set of tires for whatever reason, but they broke the tires down, checked it out, and they're still analyzing that, but they got other tires on it now. The car's back to normal like it was yesterday in practice. He's back happy with his car.
Speaking of way in the back, Kevin Harvick started 36th.
Absolutely, has been incredible today. He's marched his way all the way up front, has led some laps. Kevin Harvick might be the guy to beat when that checkered flag falls.
And that is what's happened so far in our Dodge race rundown as we work the caution at lap 230 of 500 complete. Now, an awful lot of strategy has just been played out under this yellow as you check out the standings, where they run at the moment in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Jimmy Johnson back in 18th position, Denny Hamlin in 17th position, Kevin Harvick in 15th position after stopping under the yellow. Jeff Gordon was 5th at the caution. He did not pit. He's now the leader.
Stay tuned in. Watch the rest of this race, man.
Oh, yeah, this thing's all mixed up right now. The leaders are all the way back there in 15th and 16th. The guys that were leading the race. Let's take a look at the 24 car here. Listen to his radio once here, guys.
There we go. That's perfect. We aren't as good as fuel as them, but there's 20 behind you on the lead lap. We did this a couple years ago. We ain't doing that again.
Well, Steve Letarte explaining his strategy call. Kyle Busch to Gordon's outside. Let's go back racing.
Thank you, Alan. The top 13 stayed out, and Gordon gets the jump on Kyle. And Dale Jr. right underneath.
Yeah, Jr. has the best tires of this group. He pitted that last caution. He got 4 tires.
He made a great move on that restart. He was on the outside, second row. Now he's challenging Kyle Busch for second.
Dale Jr. pitted on lap 211.
0-0 around.
David Rudiman, and he stuffs it on the inside wall of turn number 4.
And that's just what Steve Letarte was talking about. He's seen this before. He knew that the field was going to get jumbled up because cars staying out, and he did not want to get back in this pack. Because this is what can happen.
Wow, Rudiman's had such a good car all day, but just as you said, Andy, that's exactly the things that can happen here.
Let's go back and take a look at, see what happened.
Oh, my. Keselowski just got up on the curb and got in his left rear.
Curb, the grass, he was
out of control.
The only thing kept him from hitting the outside wall was the 0-0.
Rudiman was 21st. On the restart.
Now, gonna have to cut some of the left front splitter off.
Before we went back to that last green, J.J. Yeley got the free pass. This time it will go to Scott Speed. Stay with us. We'll try and go green again.
NASCAR Sprint Cup at Martinsville is brought to you by Ford F-Series, America's best-selling brand of trucks for 33 years straight. Built Ford tough. And AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
And a good-sized crowd here on hand at Martinsville, and they're enjoying the day and the beautiful sunshine. Let's talk to our in-race reporter while we got a chance.
Hey, Carl, Dale Jarrett, you have a copy?
Gotcha, Dale.
Well, it's looking pretty exciting from up here. How things going from the cockpit of that 99 Ford?
They're going okay. They're going okay. We made some adjustments at the beginning, but then the track is changing. So Bob and the guys are going the other way on the adjustments, and I think we're going to be okay here. Got some good strategy working for us right now. We pitted last time, and now we're ratcheting it up here to the front. So hopefully if we can get a good restart here, march up here, have a long green flag run, it'll be real good.
Hey, I saw you and Mr. Montoya have a little disagreement early. All that worked out and forgot about?
I don't know. I'm starting behind him this run. No, I'm just messing around. That's racing here at Martinsville. I got a little loose, and then he got me a little looser. I just wanted to let him know that I wasn't too happy about that. But no, we're fine. We'll just go race. I got a lot of racing left. We can't be on the tow truck.
That's right, man. All right, keep moving forward. We'll watch you.
Thanks a lot.
And Carl will restart in the 6th position. Montoya right in front of him in the 4th spot. Don't forget to go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And thanks for the great aerials, guys. And we're still on a big cleanup, a lot of fluid down on the backstretch, so we're going to step aside for another quick break. Jeff Gordon's out in front. Well, we've got a moment. Let's talk about the calendar because NASCAR Now is coming up with the post-race report tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. And then, of course, the Monday Roundtable at 5 Eastern, also on ESPN2. Our next stop, get ready, the Amp Energy Juice 500. We're coming to Talladega. 1 o'clock Eastern next Sunday on ESPN. Countdown will kick it off at noon on ESPN2. Well, we have had 8 different leaders. In fact, 4 of those have been chase contenders. We've had 14 lead changes. We're cleaning up the mess from our 10th caution. As we mentioned, the record's 21, and we're hoping we don't come close to it, but we haven't hit the halfway mark. Well, and as we look past the first group, let's drift back to the 8th place finish, or the car in the 83 and the number 9 right there. A couple of guys that have been a little active this week. Kasey Kahne, of course, leaving the 9 ride. Let's go back to Charlotte when Kasey was in the 9 car and had some brake issues, and I'll let you guys pick up from here.
Yeah, a couple of weeks in a row, they've had some problems. Right here, he gets in a wreck with Sam Hornish. They had to spend a lot of time in the garage area fixing the car. Kasey Kahne said he didn't feel good enough to get back in it, so they had to put somebody else in it to finish the Charlotte race.
And here's the timeline on Kasey. In August, of course, he announced he would drive for Red Bull next year, and then, of course, what you just saw back at Charlotte on the 16th, and then later in the week, he was released from Richard Petty Motorsports, and then he is back in the Red Bull seat for the rest of this season. So let's get the latest on Kasey Kahne, Mike Massaro.
And Marty, as you mentioned, the Red Bull seat, believe it or not, there were actually 3 of those, 3 different ones in that car from the beginning of this week to right now. This is a car that Matthias Ekstrom last drove. Then Eric Almirola had a seat in it. In fact, his crew chief, the crew chief of the 83, Jimmy Elledge, had a meet with Kenny Francis earlier this week to actually swap seats so that they would have the right seat in this race car. It's been a hectic week, and so far, they're not exactly on the same page. They had a very long debrief after practice yesterday. It went, well, close to 2 hours long, and so far there hasn't been much success on the racetrack. A very tight race car. Kasey's still not happy with the way it feels.
Anyway, pointed out before this quick last caution, the top 13 prior to that had stayed out, and that's why Kasey is now up into the 8th spot along with Eric Almirola, shown in 9th. So let's reset it for you. Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Juan Pablo Montoya, and Carl Edwards. Sprint brings you an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network.
Jimmy, if you hear a big scream and roar from inside the car, you'll just know that Dale took the lead of the race.
For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. And, of course, the Dale he's referring to is that 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to restart 3rd. Look at the fans on their feet. We're green.
Junior got a good restart.
Yeah, first thing he's got to do is get the 2nd around Kyle Busch. Let's see if he can do that.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. That dusted some of the track dry that they had put down. He's got a door on him. He's right side by side with him now. They go back into 1 and 2. Montoya's watching all this from the best seat in the house. While all this is happening, the 5 of Mark Martin has pulled down on pit road. Jamie?
Well, as you can see, there's a lot of cosmetic damage on this car from the spin earlier. He says he's got a tire going down. Can't tell if it's the right front. It looks pretty low, or the left front. He actually stalled it, guys, right after that restart. He's coming back down pit road.
Yeah, that car has seen its better day today. It's barely hanging on. There you see the teammates Matt Kenseth and the 99 of Carl Edwards. And here comes Eric Almirola. He gets underneath Carl. And Menard's going to try and follow.
You see Carl's really struggling up on that high side. I think he'll be too happy with Eric Almirola. And Carl thought he could just slide down in and get that spot. Almirola's there, takes it.
Eric now up into the 7th spot.
Ryan Newman's slowing.
Ryan Newman's slowing. Yeah, you're right. Dave, what are you hearing?
Rear end gear for the 39. Ryan came on the radio about a lap and a half ago. He said we definitely have a rear end gear going. Crew chief Tony Gibson said that's all right. We'll get to the garage. Meet us there, and that's where he's going now.
Newman, one of our 8 different leaders today. He led a total.
Gear in this thing, guys.
He led a total of 32 laps, and he will not win this one today. Look at the lead Jeff Gordon has opened up by a full second now. A little bit further back, there is Jeff Burton. Now remember, he's in that group that did pit, and they're on fresher tires, but they got to fight their way back up.
See Jeff Burton doing exactly that. He's making some nice passes, but Jimmy Johnson trying to follow him through.
Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, they're in that freight train as well. Jimmy gets underneath the 83 of Kasey Kahne, clears him. So move Johnson up to 13th. Here comes Harvick.
They talked about and reported Kasey Kahne's car being tight, that 83 car. You get yourself up on that high side and can't get back to the throttle, you'll get freight trained here.
Byrd taking a peek underneath the 47. Marcus Ambrose started on the outside of the front row. It's been an eventful day for him. Right now, he's 12th.
Cut a left rear tire down early and went way to the back, and he's been trying to fight his way back up using a little strategy here. He doesn't have quite as fresh a tires as the leaders that are passing him.
Tony Stewart in the battle for 4th place with Juan Pablo Montoya, and Stewart made it look pretty easy.
Sid Jr. still working the back bumper, Kyle Busch. It's a little quicker.
You heard Chad Knaus tell his driver, if you hear a loud roar, it'll be because the 88 has taken the lead. He's still fighting hard to get around Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I think Junior's better entering the corner and actually down in the center carrying a little more speed, but you can watch this 18 really get up off the corner, and that's where the 11 setup has really benefited Kyle Busch, he told me.
Junior's 4th place finish at New Hampshire was his only top 10 in the last 13 races, and that was a mile and track.
Yeah.
Similarities there as he's looking for the pass.
Yeah, most definitely, and you can see he moved back. Kyle Busch drove it in a little hard down into 1, got a little bit loose, opened the bottom for Dale Jr. He took advantage of that.
So Junior Nation is on its feet as Dale up to the 2nd spot. Now he's 1.2 seconds behind his Hendrick Motor teammate, Jeff Gordon. You can see the fans waving their flags.
I really like the strategy Steve Letarte used here to keep Jeff Gordon out front and keep him out of trouble. This is a good stretch of the race for them to run without getting a lot of pressure and having to really punish the car. While you see Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Byrd, and Harvick, they're back there really punishing their car, trying to get by a lot of these slow, which are actually slower cars that just got out in front of them.
Yeah, Jeff may be finding out, too, that his car is better than what he actually may have thought by being able to get out there and run the race that he wants to.
And remember, we're only 10 laps past halfway. We check back a little bit further in that battle for 10th. And you can see exactly what Burton, Reagan, and Jimmy are. And there's Kevin Harvick also in the mix, followed by Marcus Ambrose.
Yeah, and Jimmy's pretty content sitting there following the 31 up through there. He's hoping he can stay close enough as Jeff Burton makes these passes. Jimmy can stick his nose in there and makes life easier for him.
Well, Jimmy's got his 2 big rivals behind him right now, so that's perfect for him.
Perfect day. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they finish 15th as long as the other 2 are behind him. But they're probably none of them going to finish back there.
There you see Kevin Harvick from the back bumper of Jimmy Johnson's number 48. There is Jeff Gordon. He is out in front by 1.1 seconds. But how many times have we seen this scenario before? Can he seal the deal today? Welcome back to the Tums Fast Release 500 here at Martinsville. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Well, we're under green. We haven't been able to see that a lot lately. We've had 10 cautions, 8 different leaders, 14 lead changes, and we've just completed 270 of 500 laps. And there is your race leader, Jeff Gordon. In fact, let's get you up to speed and start it off with Dr. Jerry Bunch.
Thank you, Marty. You were talking about Steve Letarte and what a wise decision he made. Let me explain to you why he made the decision. This morning, Steve was talking about number 1. We want to make sure our car that's really tight on short runs can get some long runs, which is hard to find here. By staying out, they get a long run. Number 2, Jeff Gordon said the car is really hard to restart on the outside because the car gets so tight. By staying out as a leader, he restarts on the inside. And thirdly, maybe most importantly, Steve Letarte said no one has led more laps here at this racetrack in the first 350 laps than Jeff Gordon has. Our problem is the final 100. We want to save the car today and be there for the final 100. That's why we're not using it up now. Now behind him is his teammate, Dale Earnhardt Jr. In happy hour yesterday, they made the car very tight, but it also made the car very comfortable for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He found a rhythm. Remember that word rhythm in happy hour. And right now he is in that rhythm. The last time he had a top 5 finish on the short track was right here in the fall of 2008. He finished second to a Hendrick teammate. Mike.
Doc, Kyle Busch has shown quite a bit of patience throughout the course of the afternoon. He rolled off 26 and has made his way to the front using a little bit of pit strategy. Well, that's why he's in the top 3 right now. The last time this team stopped was lap 172, so they're inching closer to making a stop. But the car throughout the day and after a series of track bar adjustments and wedge adjustments has gotten much better and much to Kyle Busch's liking. He's very happy with the race car right now. Meanwhile, Burton, just prior to that last round of pit stops, was a little bit irritated with the previous adjustment, thinking that lowering the air pressure on the right rear was causing a bit of a problem. The car was rolling over on the right rear and overworking it. Well, they went back up on the air pressure the last time down pit road, and once again, that car has come to life, looking very strong as Burton makes his way back toward the front, Dave.
Mike, Tony Stewart stayed out the last couple of runs as well. He runs 5th right now. That's where he restarted. He's overcome a couple of things today, a pit road speeding penalty and a car that wouldn't rotate in the center. And by the way, he mentioned in Countdown today that they couldn't keep the rear tires under the car, so to speak, wear-wise yesterday. Just checked in his pit. They're much better today. Part of that is the rubber that's been laid down. Part of that's some of the tuning they did to give these tires more longevity, Mike.
It's been a bit of a challenge today for Juan Pablo Montoya and the 42 team. They rolled off inside the top 5, but experienced a bit of a chatter and had a little difficulty getting into the corner. Subsequently, they faded a little bit. Well, they've stayed on this race car. They've made some adjustments, and once again, it's back to Juan Pablo's liking. Again, he's another one of those teams that used a little bit of pit strategy to give him some track position. Last time he stopped was lap 210. Doc?
Likewise, pit strategy has helped Matt Kenseth. Jimmy Finnick opting to keep Matt on the racetrack, have him stay out because he knows his driver is as patient as they come on a track like this. Matt doesn't use up the brakes or the tires, and by staying out in spite of having a car a little bit tight in the middle of the corner, he's able to bring this car into the top 10 right now in 7th spot. Mike.
Talking with the crew chief of the 9 car this morning, asking him what his expectations were, Kenny Francis told me, I really don't know. His experience, well, it had been somewhat up and down here with the 9 car with Kasey Kahne behind the wheel. Add to the fact that he's got a new driver this week, Eric Almirola. There was a lot of uncertainty coming into this race, but it seems as though they've risen to the occasion. He's overcome a bit of a loose condition, and the car seems to be coming in, and much more to Eric Almirola's liking here. Still plenty of racing to go. It'll be interesting to see how much further he can go, Jamie.
And behind him is Carl Edwards. Now, they unloaded this car on Friday. The balance was good, but the speed wasn't there. So they put his teammate Greg Biffle setup on, went out and qualified 7th. His best effort ever here at Martinsville. The car has been okay. I see a slow car on the racetrack, guys. The 81 is almost at a stop. But back to Carl Edwards. The car is coming around, started off loose. They had a little track position there. They stayed out the last round of pit stops. He is now in the top 10. Doc?
48 car of Jimmy Johnson. You know, he made the pit stop, had to restart back in the pack in 18th position. Chad Knaus repeatedly said, Jimmy, you got to be pit. Well, up front is a challenge for the lead. Dale Earnhardt Jr. moving to the inside of his teammate. And if the 7-time most popular driver can pull it off, he will become very popular here at Martinsville. And Marty, he is now the leader for the first time today.
You got to see the fans on the front stretch, and look at them. They're standing and cheering. No matter what this guy does, he has a huge following in this sport, and there he is. He is our 9th different leader, 15 lead changes now. And let's listen to the 88 radio.
He's trying to make a show out of it. He's going to make a lot of people happy here.
That was actually the 24 radio, yeah. But you get the gist.
No, trouble with the 81. Yeah, he was slow earlier.
He's actually going now.
It's J.J. Yaley.
Come on down here.
Yeah, he's trying to get down and get to the pits, I believe, but he just can't find an opening. I think he's going to get one.
Oh, he's out of brakes.
Bring it down. Bring it down. Never mind. You keep closing up, Furr.
And now he's stopped out on the track again, trying, and we're waiting to see. Yes, the yellow flies. So now our 11th caution, and there's the reason why, right in the back of your screen. Yaley could not get down onto pit road. And you heard on the radio a brake issue, which is nothing new here.
Greg, it stopped pretty good right there.
Yeah, and Steve Letart's really glad to see that. This was looking like it had that long green flag run, and even though they still had quite a ways that they could go on fuel, they didn't want to have to go too much longer with all these other guys' fresher tires and more fuel.
Well, as we anticipate pit stops, let's revisit the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. The pit crew is determined by the winner of each race, the fastest pit time, and your vote. Be sure to text the car number to 2258 for your pit crew choice. And we're about to see who's going to be the fastest now. As you're looking there, crew chief, anybody you think might take 2, or is everybody going to go 4?
I think this is a good chance for everybody to reset with 4 tires. I don't think you'll see a 2-tire stop here.
Scott Speed will get the lucky dog. And when he goes around, that'll give us 27 cars on the lead lap. Total of 5 cars are either out or off the track. Mears, Nemechek, Newman, Bobby Labonte, and Clint Boyer. And listen to the fans.
These are just the kind of opportunities that guys were looking for. Dale Earnhardt Jr. taking advantage of it. He pitted there, stayed out when everybody else pitted, kind of got off sequence. And then what you hope happens is a pretty long run where it'll bring everybody back down pit road. It looks like that's what will happen here. We'll see.
Well, it paid dividends not only for Earnhardt, but for Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, because those guys all pitted at lap 172 or at lap 211. And then it was Jeff Burton who came in at lap 228, and he's shown in 4th. Well, here they come, so let's see whose crew is going to do the best. Mike, you're up.
And Kyle Busch's team ready to pit the car. Kyle saying he just needs the car to turn just a little bit better. They're going to lower the air pressure on the rear tires. Also expect them to make a wedge adjustment on the left side of that race car as well, trying to help out the 18. Doc?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. bottom of your screen, air pressure adjustment left side, so he can drive it in deeper, but he doesn't have to drive off that Jeff Gordon's got. Now Jeff Gordon in the middle of the screen. This is the caution flag. Steve Letarte wanted to make another slight adjustment on the car. Dave.
Tony Stewart gives up 5th place, 4 tires, no changes, full of fuel. Bets it's been all day. Jamie.
Check for the race.
And the 11 and Denny Hamlin there. He's saying he's just a little free now. Wedge out, 4 tires is the call. They continue working on the 11 car. And he's down and away finally, guys.
Well, Dale Jr. is the first off. Tony Stewart picks up 3. Jeff loses 1. And Kevin Harvick picks up 3 as well. Stay with us. We'll come back and reset it. Back here at Martinsville, 4 wave around. Smith, Martin, Castle, and Quapple. Our race leader is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Tony Stewart alongside Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, Juan Pablo Montoya. And we're back to green flag racing. Just watch the fans in the background as Dale Jr. Junior Nation is in full force and in full voice right now.
Oh boy, they're getting jammed up there. The 18's trying to stay off the 24.
Let's let you know also that Ryan Newman is now back into the race, 42 laps off the pace. Kyle Busch, there you see Jeff Burton with Juan Pablo Montoya outside of him. And then you've got Kenseth and Carl Edwards right behind them.
Yeah, and Jimmy Johnson and Carl Edwards, they're stacked up on the outside. Now Jimmy's able to get down.
So you've got your 3 points leaders right there. Harvick in the 29, then Jimmy Johnson in the 11 of Denny Hamlin. And Hamlin's trying to figure out a way to get ahead of that 48 car.
Yeah, and it's not go time yet. You still got 200 laps, but you got to start getting yourself positioned here shortly if you're going to make a run at winning this race.
Almost a little contact between the 2 of them there. On board with Harvick. Now the view from high above, and Hamlin's going to try the high side perhaps. Nope, now tucks in behind Carl Edwards.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon going for second there. Tony Stewart got loose as he went to the throttle off of turn 2.
Oh, and a little contact with Kyle Busch, and it's going to be bad news for Kyle because he's going to lose at least 1 and maybe 2 if Montoya can get around him.
Hey, lucky he didn't crash right there.
Montoya does get around him, and here comes Kenseth as well. Meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson side by side with Harvick.
See, Harvick now trying to roll the outside.
That's for 8th on the racetrack.
So it might work for him here, too. Look at this.
Kenseth got really loose. They're going to be 3 wide here.
Uh-oh.
No, Jimmy gets a little contact into him. Harvick maintains the position ahead of Johnson, at least for the moment. Now Jimmy tucks up behind the 29. Then goes behind Kenseth again, and here comes Hamlin into the mix.
Yeah, Jimmy just not exactly sure which one of these guys is going to win this battle. Looks like Kevin Harvick's getting a nice nose out front now.
Yeah, the one thing we need to point out, for all the contact that we always see, and here we go, 3 wide, these 3 points contenders, none of them have been beating and banging on each other. They've given each other some space.
Shows you how good they are, though. They've been so close to each other, and other cars racing hard and aggressive.
Yeah, I tell you, this 48 car's fast right now. Jimmy's wanting to go.
Here he goes.
Yeah, now we talked about beating and banging.
Definitely getting aggressive.
Meanwhile, Jeff Burton, and he moves into 3rd ahead of Tony Stewart. So it's Earnhardt, Gordon, and now Burton. He's back on the move. Jimmy trying to seal the deal and finally does get around Kevin Harvick. So move Johnson into the 7th position.
Harvick gives a little nudge there.
And just as I compliment them on how clean they have raced each other, here they go.
Well, this is relatively clean. I mean, a little bumping here and there, no big deal. Just part of Martinsville.
And this is where the 48, we heard them say early in the race that they set their car up for these shorter runs. So they've got to make time right now. It doesn't look like their car's quite as good on the longer efforts, but they've got to pass as many cars, keep those guys behind them as long as they can.
Well, the other thing is Jimmy's had to pick up the spots that he's lost from pit road.
Yeah, he's not had the best day on pit road, but Kevin Harvick, on the other hand, he had the second
trouble. 2 cars into the wall on turn number 2, as also the 7 of Robbie Gordon has got problems. And there you see the 47 with damage, and the 77 of Sam Hornish was the second one involved in this one.
And Ambrose has a ton of damage.
Yeah, it's really looking bad on the back deck.
Got no brakes.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Come down.
Here's what happened.
That's where he lost his brakes, it looked like. You can see Sam Hornish just innocent bystander there.
Let you know that Clint Boyer has just rejoined the race. He is 113 laps behind. So far, we are still green. There's the margin between 1st and 2nd, 0.7 of a second to be exact. Dale Earnhardt Jr. He has now led his 21st lap here today. First time that Dale Jr. has led here since March of 2008. He led 146 laps that day. And right now, Junior Nation's loving every minute of this because he's actually stretching the lead a little bit. So Dale Earnhardt Jr., the man up front at Martinsville. Tony Romo leads Dallas against Eli and the Giants, and the Giants on a 3-game roll. Can Dallas turn the tide at home, or will they fall to their NFC East rival? It's Giants-Cowboys, ESPN's Monday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern, and our coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown. That's served up by Applebee's. Back here at Martinsville is get a beautiful view of this entire Southern Virginia countryside, and there is your top 3. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he has now led a total of 30 laps. He's one of 11 different leaders. And second place, Jeff Gordon is under attack from Jeff Burton.
He is under attack. Burton's really driving his car off in the corner extremely hard.
He's got a fender underneath him. Now, side by side. And he's going to clear him. Yes, he does. So move Jeff Burton up to the 2nd spot. And he's actually pulling away.
Yeah, and he will pull it. He has by far the fastest race car here, but was just noticing how hard he was trying to get in on the bumper of Jeff Gordon and trying to make that pass. But Jeff's got this car just almost that perfect tight that Rusty Wallace was talking about earlier today that you need. You've got to have it just enough tightness in the center to where you can really hammer the throttle on the exit, and that's what this 31 car is right now. Has been.
Jeff going around the 71 of Hermie Sadler. He's now 2 laps down in 27th position. Sam Hornish, you see there in the 77. He is 25th right now, and now the first car 1 lap down.
Well, he is driving in the corner hard. I just noticed at that lap, get into 3. I mean, he is really using those brakes up, trying to make up some time. I think if he could ever get the lead, he could ease up on it a little bit. I think that's kind of what his strategy might be, is if he can get up here and get the lead, he might be able to ease up on his car a little.
There you see the margin between 1st and 2nd. Dale Jr., he's been good here. He's had 8 top 5s in 21 races. His best finish was back in October of 08 when he came home in 2nd place.
Yeah, the only thing I'd caution with the 31 and driving that hard and using that much brake, you'll build up the air pressure in the right front tire. Then your car won't turn quite as good. And so you'll pay the price as you run a few laps.
David Gilliland back out on the track as he gets past, put another lap down. Don't forget to go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And now Dale Jr. coming up on the 38 of Travis Kvapil. A little further back, that's Montoya with Kyle Busch underneath him.
It's a race for 5th.
And right behind them, here comes Jimmy Johnson, then Kevin Harvick, and Denny Hamlin. They're 3 points contenders. Doc, what's the latest you're hearing on the 48?
Well, we talked about how Jimmy was going to be really good on short runs, and he has been good. The problem was the track has gotten tighter and tighter in the middle right there. And so they came in on the last stop and took some wedge out to free him up in the middle so he could work traffic better. Otherwise, he was stuck on the outside like he is right now behind the 77 car. He's been able to work traffic, but now he's got the inside filled with Kevin Harvick.
And he's about to have it filled by Denny Hamlin as well, as Hornish tries to give him as much room and lets him get through.
Well, that was really a good move by Sam Hornish. Saw these guys all racing hard, knowing that's the points leader. He did a nice job of giving them plenty of room to settle this between themselves.
You sure? Maybe Denny would probably say, Sam, could you just stay there a little bit longer until I got past? So right now, Harvick in front of the 48. Let's get an update on his situation from Dave Burns.
And Marty, that last run was not a good one for Kevin Harvick. It was rolling over on the right rear. It was loose and tight. He couldn't roll the center or get up off the corner, according to the driver. So they went back 2 stops. He said, hey, let's go back 2 stops when we were fast. And that's what they did on this last stop. Gil Martin choosing to make a wedge adjustment, take it back out from what they had done a bit earlier. Jamie?
And a little update on Denny Hamlin. You want to know how serious this guy is about winning a championship? I was in the hall this morning talking to his crew chief. Denny Hamlin calls on the phone and said, I had a dream about our setup, but I don't think it's right. He questioned his crew chief, and now that's still a question if it was the right call because he started this day off extremely loose and the car wasn't right. But guys, the car is getting better, but you can bet that guy is thinking a lot about this championship.
All right, thanks, Jamie. We've put down 328 of the 500 laps, and you can see now Harvick taking a look underneath the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya. And Denny trying to put a lot of pressure on Jimmy Johnson right behind him.
Yeah, Hamlin would like nothing better than to get in front. That's the guy that he needs to be in front. He knows he has to do that if he's going to gain points here today. You know, we're getting almost 350 laps into this race. Pretty hot day to race here, almost 80 degrees. Your stamina and physical condition is going to come into play as we get down later into this race, because this is a long, hard 500 miles. Carbon monoxide is a big factor here because of this small racetrack. So a lot of things can happen here in these last 100 laps, and the drivers are in better conditions to be able to take advantage of this.
Based on contact. Hamlin gets into the 48.
We've seen that move before. I think it was reversed, and that was for the lead back a couple of years ago. But then he decided he'd see how that worked with his front bumper.
Hit the curb. Nothing behind you.
Let's take another look. Said sorry,
hit the curb. Just because Jimmy didn't give him much room, did he hit the curb?
Yeah, Jimmy did crowd him just a little.
Between those two, they have won the last 8 races here at Martinsville. In fact, it was exactly 6 years ago today that Jimmy Johnson got his first of his 6 career wins here at this half-mile short track. There's Kevin Harvick, left side of your screen. He has got Montoya between he and now Denny Hamlin, and now he's going around the 38 at Kvapil. A little further up, look at Kyle Busch along with Tony Stewart there, as those guys are duking it out. Here comes Montoya underneath Kvapil as well. Check in on our race lead, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He has now got a 7/10 of a second lead over Burton and Jeff Gordon. And the top 3 all trying to break winless streaks, and there are the numbers for each of them. Maybe 88 is a lucky number for Dale Jr. today. Stay with us to find out.
It is the Tums Fast Relief 500 at the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Make sure you go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. 158 laps to go. There is the leader of the race, Dale Earnhardt Jr., out in front by 0.8 of a second. Jimmy Johnson trying to pass Juan Pablo Montoya here for the 8th position and doing so. We talked on NASCAR Countdown earlier today about the relationship between driver and crew chief and the communication between them. Here's some communication between Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus a moment ago.
We haven't really done much to the center lately. There's been more of a problem towards the exit more. Kind of lost my forward grip with no gain in the center.
I can't. Pretty well tapped out, but see you, man. It's up to you. You got to carry us the rest of the way, buddy. I'm sorry.
With Rusty Wallace and Brad Daugherty. What do you make of that?
Oh, man, let me tell you what, as a driver, I did not want to hear that answer from my crew chief. We did it in our countdown show. We did a deal where Chad Knaus basically said a thing he hates the very most about Jimmy Johnson if Jimmy just flat says, I don't know. Well, basically, as a crew chief, he just told Jimmy, I can't help you. I don't know. You're going to have to carry it yourself. So, contradicting your stories just a little bit there.
Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin, of course, have won the last 8 races at Martinsville together. Between them, Johnson, as I mentioned, running in 8th position. Hamlin a couple spots ahead of him, running in 6th position. Hamlin started off the race from the pole, faded back to 15th. Brad made his way toward the front. Now he's shuffled back a little bit by strategy.
He's shuffled back a little bit by strategy, but he's still got a really fast race car. And and at the end of the day, he is going to be in the mix as well as Jimmy Johnson. You're going to have to watch for those two guys because of their past history here. But both of the guys are running okay, not great, but they will work their way back up through the field, either through pit stops or just by running people down.
And we talked with and about Jeff Gordon on Countdown and the long dry spell he's been on, his troubles last week at Charlotte, how this race was kind of a must-win for him if he had any hopes of getting back in this championship. Well, he's having a solid run, Rusty.
He's having a fantastic run today. He's been in the front all day long. Right now, we got a caution.
Caution.
Greg Biffle.
Caution.
Looks like 16's got a right front down. And Biffle, boy, what a nightmare this day has been for him.
Oh, yeah, it really has.
Come on in here. Let's see what we got.
Bad can happen. It's happened to Greg Biffle today.
Picking back up on Jeff Gordon real quick, guys. He's 4th in the points. He's having a solid day. He can close a deal if he gets this thing back on track and stays strong like he's been all day long. They need good pit stops to get him out front.
Dragon, we sparking that sway bar arm.
Greg Biffle started this race in 3rd position. He had a speeding penalty earlier. He had a penalty for missing lug nuts. Had to make an extra pit stop. Then this.
Yeah, it looks like a classic case of a right front tire, brake heat. Tim Brewer's been telling us about that a lot, and that's the problem. Tim, let's tell us some more about this. Looks like it's holding true what you've been telling us, buddy.
Hey, Rust, as you well know, when you over-abuse these brakes right here, you're going to build up the heat right here in this rotor. Well, the bead sets right here, so you're going to transfer that heat right in this area, and this is what the bead normally looks like. But after you abuse it, that's when the air pressure leaves the tire, and Rusty, you're on your own after that, buddy.
Well, Tim, that's where the bead's supposed to stick to. When you make that area mad, that's what happens.
It's not too good.
They don't call it abuse for nothing, guys.
That's right. Tim Brewer from our Craftsman Tech Garage. So pit road's going to be open this time, and it'll be Dale Jr., Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick, the top 5 going in. The team's just given the extra man to go over the wall to take care of cleaning the windshield for the driver. And, of course, Greg Biffle in a little bit early to get that right front taken care of on that 16 car. Another bad day at Martinsville for the Biff, despite all the fun he had on Ferris Biffle's day off earlier in the week. Here comes Jeff Burton, Mike.
And Jeff Burton saying he needs a little bit more rear grip under throttle. Todd Berrier saying, well, we're going to do something a little bit different here. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment this time on the left side, the left front tire. It's the first time they've touched that all day long, Doc.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. starting to get a little free on entry, a little free on exit. The top of your screen. Minor air pressure adjustment, no major other changes. Jeff Gordon likewise, a little free in the middle, but no changes. Don't want to tighten the car up too much for the final run. Dave.
5th place, Kevin Harvick is loose into the center. They'll make a slight air pressure adjustment for tire change. Jamie?
And they continue working on the 11 car for Denny Hamlin, still just a bit free. Wedge adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. They're watching the rest of the field to see when they're going to make their way around. This team has been excellent on pit road. There goes the 88, the 31, the 29. They continue passing. He's down and away. Alan?
Junior, we saw him side by side with Jeff Burton down the pit lane. Junior gets to the scoring stripe first. Harvick up a couple of spots. Look at Jeff Gordon. Lost 5 on the exchange of pit stops. Under caution, Junior leads in Martinsville.
With 147 laps to go here at Martinsville Speedway, we are now under our 12th caution. And Jeff Gordon, we keep talking about they come close, but they have problems somehow, some way, each race. Here we go.
You see the crew on the right side. You want to see something around the 5.5 seconds. Just a little off of that on the right. Come around to the left side. See the jack? That's pretty normal, about 4 seconds. But right here is where they really lose a lot of time on the left rear. Costs them quite a bit of time. You see that 6 seconds, that needs to be in the 3.5. No more than 4 second range, and they lose some spots.
And then watch Jimmy right here scoot in front of him. And
yeah,
he will
they're
come
working
out
the system there. I don't know exactly where the lines are. They know, but they're trying to work this right. You know, they're speeding between the lines to their advantage.
All right, let's listen in on the radio.
Just pray we're on the inside here, guys.
Oh, we're not. That's pitiful. We still got 150 to go. We're going to have to make it up, boys.
Now here is the pit time comparison, and you can see the difference.
Yeah, you see Earnhardt Jr., his crew really doing a good job there, 13.5.
Got a total of 4 waiver rounds to report. Robbie Gordon, Tony Raines, Regan Smith, Landon Castle. And there was no free pass because it was Greg Biffle that would have gotten it. He created the caution, our 12th. So let's set the field for you. It's going to be Dale Earnhardt Jr., and everybody's picked the inside. Surprise, surprise. Jeff Burton right alongside. Then Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart 6th, Jimmy Johnson 7th, Jeff Gordon 8th, Kenseth and Edwards round out the top 10. Green flag flies, everybody on their feet. And Dale Jr. jumps to the lead again.
Here comes Harvick on that inside.
Oh,
gets in the Junior.
And then Burton bumps him from the other side. Talking about feeling like a pinball, and he manages to hold on. And he takes the lead right there, and again clears both of them. Now Burton tucks in front of the 29.
Gets a shot from Harvick. Burton does.
Burton really driving his car off into the corner. You can see he really had to get on the brakes. Gets another shot from Kevin Harvick right there. Hamlin stuck on the outside.
Yeah, and Jimmy Johnson's going to take advantage. He's going to tag along with Kyle Busch.
Caution's out.
Caution's out. You see the result there is Sam Hornish just turned it around in turn number 2.
88, front of the 88.
And he has got all kinds of damage on
It looks like Harvick's got a little
disagreement here.
Burton.
Well, so much for teammate love.
Harvick's wearing the back bumper out of that 31.
I have done nothing wrong.
Yeah, I have
the
to
hole
agree.
is there. I filled the hole. I will not put up with it. I'm a good teammate, and I'm not going to take him running into me. Copy that.
That was Jeff Burton's radio.
Yeah, I mean, Burton's just trying to race hard right there.
Up a quick yellow.
And not really, like you said, I didn't see him do anything wrong.
Let's quickly listen in on the 29 radio.
I'm telling you, Gil, he's out of mulligans. I mean, he's done it to me. That's the 3rd time now. Did it at Indy, did it at Loudon, done it here.
Two
sure
different
exactly what he's talking
perspectives.
Imagine that. 2 drivers disagreeing.
Amazing, amazing. Richard Childress Racing right now. Wow, they got some issues. Maybe we're going to have to put that psychologist back with them like we had at the pre-race with the crew chief and the drivers. Back at Martinsville, free pass goes to Kenny Schrader. 22 cars on the lead lap. Keep an eye on the 29 and 31. Not a lot of love going on between the teammates. And Dale Jr. on the restart gets a good jump again.
You don't have to look far to find the 29 and 31. They're side by side once again.
You heard both sides of the conversation. DJ made a great comment. If they get in a fist fight, which pit crew goes to battle for the 29? The new one or the old one?
Yeah, Harvick kind of using up some racetrack there. They're going to let Junior pull away here, arguing for this 2nd spot. But it's getting time that you got to battle hard for each one of these.
Jimmy
Can't
Johnson.
be given anything.
Jimmy right behind the 29, and then Kyle Busch behind Jimmy. On board the 48.
And just behind Jimmy, you see Kyle Busch there. He's done well. Matt Kenseth, another car. We haven't talked much about Matt, but he's been solid there all day. He's able to stay in the top 10.
Looks like Harvick gets back in the left rear. Burton again, and Burton just about had him clear.
Side by side, plenty of space there. This is one of the best angles from high above because you can see exactly how close they get.
Well, the two cars are just so evenly matched, but shows just how good Jeff Burton's car is, that with as fast as Harvick is, he can stay right there on the outside.
And the way he comes off that corner.
Yeah, he just needs one good run and for Harvick to slip just a little bit, but now Harvick's getting the edge now. You can see it's only a couple of laps you can stay out there, but here comes Jimmy Johnson. Not going to let Burton down.
Yeah, Jimmy does not want to let him in, and he's going to seal him. If Burton wants to stay in that spot, he's going to have to do it from the outside. Question is, which guy is Kyle Busch going to follow? On the left side of your screen, the battle for 12th, you've got Juan Pablo Montoya, Jeff Gordon, and Joey Logano. And David Reagan into the mix. Right side of your screen, Burton still door to door with the 48.
Yeah, and you can see just how far back Jeff Gordon has fallen after that bad pit stop. Going even further back, and a lot of that came because he had to start up on the outside.
In all this, if you're wondering where Denny Hamlin is, we'll tell you he is running 8th right now. He has to get back in front of the 48.
That's exactly what Jeff Burton is trying to do right now, is get in front of the 48. He came within a foot of getting Harvick cleared, and Harvick got in the left rear quarter and really slowed him up. So Harvick got that spot. Now Burton getting ready to lose another one.
While we keep watching the side-by-side action, I will tell you, Earnhardt's lead is 0.7 of a second again over Kevin Harvick. So he's building it back up. It's about where it was when we had our 13th caution come out.
Well, this is great side-by-side racing. Two true professionals and good drivers here. These two really haven't touched, and they've been side-by-side. Now Burton clears him for that 3rd spot.
That's a down low look from the front of Kyle Busch's car. And my, that wall gets awfully close. Let's go back to the battle for 7th. Remember we told you about Denny Hamlin? He has got a nose and now the whole car in front of Carl Edwards, so he takes that spot away. And here comes Allmendinger looking to the outside. Kurt Busch right behind him in the 2. Allmendinger looks in there, but doesn't have enough room. Thinks better of it.
Yeah, it's a good run for him on the short track. They've really brought this program around. You know, all the talk this week about what's going to happen at RPM. Well, he's certainly hoping they get things worked out, and the way that he's made this team more competitive.
Started 15th. He's running 9th right now. Battle up front's getting a little tighter. Dale Jr.'s lead has dwindled. Here comes Kevin Harvick. And Harvick is closing. Last lap, a little bit quicker than the race leader.
Well, he is, and what a great run Kevin Harvick's had all day long. Started 36th, worked his way well up in the top 10 in about 70 laps, and has just continued his march forward. He definitely has the fastest car here, but you can take a faster car and be held up by somebody right in your line. If Dale Jr. doesn't make a mistake, it may be hard to pass.
Harvick thought he had a problem with Jeff Byrd. He's going to have a resounding round of boos here when he takes the lead from Junior Nation.
Yeah, Junior just kind of decided, hey, he's caught me here. No sense in pushing the issue. Still a little over 100 laps to go.
Well, Dale Jr. led 90 laps, and now we've had our 20th lead change today. Junior had led only 71 laps in the entire 2010 season entering today. Harvick doing exactly what he needs to do. This would be how the points would shake out right now. And you can see he gains quite a bit from where he was, and Denny Hamlin still got to find a way to get back in front of that 48. Jimmy's running in the 4th position, Hamlin running 6th.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick was really enjoying the fact that all anybody wanted to talk about was Jimmy Johnson or Denny Hamlin going to win this race. He came in here feeling that he really had the shot. Even after he qualified poorly, he felt like that he could get this car to the front, and he's done it.
Well, remember in the March race, he had a good race car until about, I think it was around lap 120 when he had a tire issue, and that's what put him back and took it away from him. So right now, Kevin Harvick, Richard Childress Racing, up front here at Martinsville.
Neither.
Yeah, this ain't over. Trouble here for Jeff Gordon. Caution number 14. Early contact with Kurt Busch. Kurt then retaliates. And I don't know if this one's over.
Next time around. What's it look like, Dick? Left rear's killed.
Yeah, down into turn 3 here. And see Jeff dive down in.
Right rear.
Gets into the left rear quarter panel. Kurt Busch didn't like that.
And watch what happens next. Jeff Gordon from the onboard.
I'm sure Kirk feels like that he didn't have enough up there. He's getting in there.
He'll come back and give us a shot. Cross us over. Try to... And over, I guess. Yep. Okay.
Jeff Gordon is finished in the top 5. Let's go quickly to Mike.
And a 4-tire change for Jeff Burton. No adjustments, Doc.
Backing up on the adjustment for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said, what you did before hurt my middle of my corner and didn't help the forward bite. So change it back. Dave.
Leader Kevin Harvick, 4 tires, no changes, full of fuel to the end.
Denny Hamlin loose on exit, tight in the middle. It won't turn. 4 tires and fuel. That is it. No adjustments. There goes the 29.
And 31. And Hamlin gets out along with the 88. We can tell you also A.J. Allmendinger had trouble. They were trying to push the car to get it restarted. So that's going to cost him some spots. There you see the other cars that are now heading into pit lane. And there's the damage.
Sit here and fix it. All right, put a tire on, see how clearance we are. How about in the back? What do we got?
Now remember, I was getting ready to tell you, Jeff Gordon has finished in the top 5 in the last 11 races here, and in the top 10 in the last 15. The only person active streak better here is a guy by the name of Jimmy Johnson, who's had 16.
Left front looks good. How's the right rear look, Jace? Go out and come in, or can we work on it now? Go out? All right, everybody clear with the pace car? All right, let's go get caught up. Come on, go get caught up.
So Steve Letarte sends him back out, and for Jeff Gordon, his chances of winning, he's already 1 lap down right now, and here's one more view of Jeff going to the wall. All right, we knew the fireworks were going to start. We've got 111 laps to go, and let's try and reset this for you, because Jeff Gordon has had his day pretty much taken care of with contact with the 2 of Kurt Busch. And it's basically taken what little championship hope he had and flushed it. Let's get to the 2 radio of Kurt Busch, listening to his side of this.
Yeah, check the damage on the nose, man. It sucked me right on in. I was trying to let him go.
I'm going to turn to my championship driver and say, you buy that?
No, I'm not buying that. He wasn't trying to let anybody go. He got done exactly what he was trying to do right there. Pretty big payback for just getting knocked out of the way here at Martinsville. Well, that's what we've seen this year.
That's what you said. The payback does not fit the initial crime.
Well, I mean, it's different racing, different styles. Everything's a little different. These guys now, you know, you get knocked out of the way, you come back. We've seen guys turn others and take them out, basically, instead of just knocking them out of the way and taking the spot back.
Hey, guys, look who's leading this race.
Yep, Kenny Schrader has stayed out.
That's right. Get him, Kenny.
Kenny is the race leader. Harvick is 2nd. Burton 3rd. Hamlin now 4th. Earnhardt 5th. Kyle Busch 6th. Jimmy Johnson's back in 7th. Edwards, Logano, Kurt Busch. That is your top 10, and it's been called off.
Yeah, they had a little problem getting everybody lined up. They had to call that restart off. Lucky they didn't have a problem there. Usually they call a restart off that late. Everybody ready to go.
They were getting ready to be at the gas.
Let's show you the season high number of cautions that we've had today. A total of 14 now for a total of 85 laps. And
already beat the March number.
Yeah, the 2 numbers there. The first one is from the March race. The second is from the fall race. And there you see the average. Gives you an idea. Cautions run amok when we come to Martinsville.
And we hadn't even got down to time to decide this thing yet. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think the saying's caution, breed caution.
Well, yeah. and let's go back to this, because you've made a good point about Jimmy Johnson's car really being good on the short run. 4 out of the last 6 races here have been green, white checkers. And there's also 9 of the last 12. The green flag stretch has been less than 10 laps, the final 10 laps.
You know, the big thing that happened right here with Kenny Schrader staying out, it kind of reversed all of the positions here on who was going to start inside and outside. See, Harvick won the race off pit road, but he will start on the outside.
Let's listen in on Kevin Harvick's radio.
We just need to be prepared for Burton putting the 26.3 wide, too. It wouldn't be the best for RCR, would it?
Well, Kevin mentioned Richard Childress Racing, last of 6 Martinsville wins, was September of 1995 by Dale Earnhardt, the crew chief. He's standing next to me, Andy Petrie. Back to green flag racing. Schrader cannot hold off Harvick. He's going to clear him quickly. Here comes Hamlin as well. Burton's going to be the loser here as he's going to have to go under a slowing Kenny Schrader.
Yeah, but he might get out of this only losing 1 spot to Denny Hamlin.
Boy, Kenny is like a pinball, and he just got banged from behind by Kurt Busch.
Yeah, I really have to question that call by their crew to keep him out there in that position.
There's smoke on that 26 as well on that right rear. Looks like it might be a tire rub.
Got a right rear tire rub.
And there you get a better view of it as Jamie McMurray's trying to go underneath him as well. So Kenny Schrader became our 12th different leader, 23 total lead changes, but he is fading fast. Meanwhile, it's Kevin Harvick. He's quickly opened up over a half-second lead over second place Denny Hamlin, and Hamlin's done exactly what he wanted. He's gotten back in front of that man right there, Jimmy Johnson. Dale Earnhardt Jr. tucks right in behind Jimmy. That is 5th and 6th. How about 3 wide as Kenny Schrader still smoking? He gets tapped from the 34, Tony Raines. And Raines looks like he has a flat on the left rear.
Sure does. Going to need to try to get the pit road. He's got a few more cars to go by here. Don't know that he'll get
miss
there
it this time.
A couple more coming.
He's got to make another lap.
That's Clint Boyer going
If
under.
he can.
No, he's going to turn it around and bang the wall.
Turn it around if you can.
NASCAR is now throwing the caution.
Hang tight.
It's number 15. So everybody will slow it down one more time and we'll reload once again. We are almost within 100 laps now, 101 to the end. As we head for commercial break, here's what happened to Tony. He just had nothing left and it turned on him.
NASCAR Sprint Cup at Martinsville is brought to you by Bank of America. NASCAR fans should appreciate the speed of our ATM deposits. No deposit slip, no envelope, quick and easy. And Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
Well, back here at Martinsville, the one thing we should update you on is Jeff Gordon gets the free pass. That puts him back on the lead lap. So Steve Letard's crew did a great job of limiting the damage to the 1. The quick yellow puts him back in 22nd position. We also did not get a chance to tell you about the 17 of Matt Kenseth. He had a penalty earlier on the prior caution. He had to restart further at the back of the field. He's now back up to 15th. Green flag flies again. It's Harvick, Hamlin, Burton, Kyle Busch.
We've got Richard Childress Racing and Joe Gibbs Racing in those first 4 spots. Jimmy Johnson trying to change that down on the inside of Kyle Busch.
Boy, Harvick has opened up the lead already. Burton trying to get around Hamlin quickly as well. Hamlin gets in front of the 48 to deny him that lane. So Kyle Busch will have to do it from the outside as he's side by side with Jimmy Johnson right now. Right behind those two, you got Joey Logano and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Brad Keselowski. First time Keselowski has poked his nose into the top 10. Sort of spacing out a little bit now, side by side between the 99 of Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski. Those two raced yesterday, of course, over in the nationwide event. Keselowski got the better of that one, winning over in St. Louis. Doc?
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. says the car is not as good as it has been. He said right now on new tires, the car is just way too tight in the middle and will not turn. They're also discussing what's going to happen to this racetrack over these final 95 laps when we start getting some shade because the sun is setting on parts on the racetrack. How will that impact the groove and how will it impact the handling of these cars, guys?
Where we'll get the shade will be down in 1 and 2, and I'll turn it over to you, DJ. What do you think?
Yeah, it doesn't change this concrete surface all that much. You might see a little bit of a change, but I wouldn't look for it to be a drastic change as far as having to make a big change to the race car.
Well, I think the track is tightening up some. for everybody. I think this rubber buildup is starting to tighten it up and the cool racetrack. And probably the most thing is just, like I say, getting the track worn in. This track gets that way as it takes a long time to rubber in, but once it does, the cars do get tight.
Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch have a nice little battle going right here. That is for the 11th spot on the track, and Tony finally seals it. Jimmy McMurray, who's had an eventful day after winning last week at Charlotte. You can see all the damage that they've got on the nose of that car. It looks like it went to the MMA fight last night and got punched. Right behind Jamie, the 98 of Paul Menard. And a long day for Mark Martin fans. I mean, Mark was used like a ping pong ball earlier in the race. Right now, he has worked his way back to 15th. Let's go back up front, though, and check in with Harvick, Byrd, and Denny Hamlin. There's your top three. And let's get an update on the 11 from Jamie Little.
Well, under the last caution, Marty, Denny Hamlin said to his team, guys, the front of the car just won't turn. We're so tight, and that's forcing me to use too much brake. And, DJ's been talking about how good he is with his equipment and saving it versus some of the other drivers who get in hard. So you have to wait and see how this is going to shake out for Denny. The car definitely not where they're used to being at Martinsville.
Still a long way to go when you realize it. I mean, we're probably going to have several more cautions, to say the least. A little bit further deeper in the field, battle for 16th. There's David Reagan. Right behind him is A.J. Allmendinger. On the outside, it's Matt Kenseth and Eric Almirola.
A lot of Fords back there battling for this spot.
Let's get an update on the 43 of Allmendinger. Dave?
Well, I needed to ask him today, since their deal seemed to be the one that was all sewn up. Allmendinger driving for the 43 next year. Has all the scuffle around RPM affected them this week? Crew Chief Mike Shiplett said, nope. We've got cars ready to go to the end of the year. AJ's good. We're all good. We're just out here to race. They just pitted, by the way, and they won't come back. So if the leaders pit, they plan to make up all that track position.
Yeah, and I saw AJ earlier this weekend, and he said, man, I'm just focusing on the driving. That's all I can do.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how all that shakes out. There seems to be more and more talk and speculation as to what exactly will happen, but we'll see what happens as the week goes on next week.
Side by side, Tony Stewart, the battle for 10th with Juan Pablo Montoya, and give Tony the spot. Now 85 laps remaining here as we go on board with Tony. These guys have sort of settled into position. Like I'm scanning the track, trying to find a tight battle, and right now there isn't a lot. And the 16 of Greg Biffle making his way back out on the track. Jamie, what's the latest?
That's right. They've been in the garage working on this car. What happened earlier, well, obviously we talked about how bad the day has been, but he had a right front tire blow. That broke a sway bar arm, and that brought him into the garage. They found more damage to the race car. Remember, he came into this race eighth in points. NASCAR telling him he's going the wrong way right now. And as it stands, Marty, he would be 11th in points.
Well, when he comes back out on track, he will be shown officially in the 36th position. Multiple laps down, and meanwhile out on track. Let's check the speeds at the line. Andy, you always like this.
Yeah, I love speeds at the line. Let's see if anybody's catching the leader. That lap right there looked like Harvick's still the fastest so far.
And that speed difference, that was 2/100ths of a second. A 44 to a 46.
And here he comes quickly. That fast. It takes just 20 seconds to do a lap here at Martinsville on this half mile. And now 80 laps remaining, and Harvick doing it exactly what he needs to do. Whoa, Burton got awfully close to the wall on the exit there.
Jeff Burton's driving this 31 car for everything it's worth today. He knows this is his opportunity to go to victory lane this year. Feels like he has the best car. It's felt that way the entire weekend, but he's getting everything out of it.
Yeah, laps are running out. It's only 79 laps to go, and that goes quick on a half-mile racetrack, so he's got to get it done.
A little bit further back, the battle for 12th. How about Mark Martin? He has moved up 3 spots since we last talked about him, and he's just gotten around the 2 of Kurt Busch. And you'd look at that car and you swear there's no way he could be on the lead lap.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to take that one back to the tech center and measure it up this week. Might find a few measurements a little off.
Right in front of him, Juan Pablo Montoya, and that is for position. Montoya running in the 11th spot, and he is closing on it.
Yeah, Mark's car has been looking really good through the center of the corners. I've watched him pass some of these cars to continue to move up. He's really rolling fast and able to get back to the gas, making a good drive off.
He is pulled right up on the spoiler. Looking for the opening to go around the 42. Montoya, don't remember. Oh, here he goes underneath. He gets underneath him, and Mark really accelerates through, and now going to try and seal it at the other end of the racetrack.
Yeah, and that's a huge respect thing right there. We've always seen Juan Pablo Montoya, as you see him slide it off of turn 4, but race everybody hard. But when he came into this series, Mark Martin was the person that talked to him a lot, helped him as much as he could, and I think that's what you saw right there was just that he said, okay, you've run me down, go ahead and take this spot and I'll follow.
So Mark Martin is now up to the 11th position. Tony Stewart is 10th, and above that it's Brad Keselowski running in the 9th position. In fact, let's go back up front, check in on the race lead, because all of a sudden Kevin Harvick is getting into some lap traffic of Tony Raines. While we've got a moment, we're working lap number 428. Let's check in on the chase racers as we go up to speed. First up will be Dave.
And Kevin Harvick does lead this race right now, and talking with his crew chief Gil Martin earlier today, we talked about how this team getting the pit crew from Clint Boyer was done. He said, you know what, before the chase started, we all talked about this. All of our teams agreed 100%. And if there was one of us that looked like we could win it with just a little bit of help from the others, we'd do it. That's why the switch was thrown, and they picked up a bunch of spots on pit road today. Mike?
Dave, I had an interesting conversation with Jeff Burton's crew chief Todd Barrier yesterday afternoon about the way the spring race ended, with Denny Hamlin making that mad dash in the closing laps. I asked him, what do you think the etiquette is in the last 15 laps, and how do you expect your driver to attack them? He said Jeff Burton will attack the last 15 laps and race the guys he has to race against exactly the way they've raced him all afternoon long. Obviously something to pay attention to, considering there was a bit of confrontation between him and the 29 earlier today. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin third right now. He came into this race, among other things, focused on bonus points. Up to this point, the first 5 chase races, he had only led 1 lap. That means only 5 bonus points. That was the least amount of all chasers. Well, today started on the pole. He led the first 10 laps. That got him 5 extra bonus points. Jimmy Johnson has not led. As of right now, Denny has cut into Jimmy's lead by 10 points. Doc?
Back in 4th position, Jimmy Johnson, the 6-time Martinsville winner. This morning, Chad Canals told me everything they've worked through this weekend is to get this car ready for the final 50 to 75 laps. He said last year we got beat on the short run late. This year we're ready for them. We know in the final 100 laps there are a lot of caution flags at Martinsville. When they come, we're going to make an adjustment on our car, put tires on, and we will have something for the guys up front. Mike.
Doc, it has been a battle for the 18 team all afternoon long. They rolled off 26 at the beginning of the day and have made their way up into the top 5. On the last stop, they freed the car up with a little bit of wedge, but they gave Kyle a little bit of advice. They're begging him to save some fuel. A little bit concerned. Their last stop, lap 386, Jamie.
Carl Edwards running 8th right now. I talked to his crew chief, Bob Osborne, this morning about the Chase Championship hopes, and he said, oh, we're definitely not out of it. Although we are sitting 7, there still are moments that we can take this. We're in it. Right now, the car just a little bit tight for Carl Edwards. Dave?
Stewart, of course, is 6th in the chase. Tony Stewart, that is. And going for wins, crew chief Darian Grubb told me this morning, you know, when we were here in March, we only set the car up for the short run. So this weekend in practice, we did long run after long run, more than 30 laps each run. That's why we've been so much better, because here, the runs can go on, kind of like they are this time. Now, Kurt Busch has had an up and down day. Earlier on today, Kurt was saying, let's make this a test day. The car was running so bad, he thought they might pull off and do some work on it and make it just a test day for the next time they come here. But Kurt later was able to get up to the top 5 and really race this race car, and then he had the troubles with Jeff Gordon. It's been an up and down day
get track position and then keep it and hang on to it. And they had done that. They had stayed out a couple of times, gotten the car in the top 10, but guess what? They lost track position on that last pit stop when they were told they were speeding on the exit of pit road. They had to go back and start toward the rear and have now moved back in the 17th position. Now the focus today for Jeff Gordon was this: try to finish and be really good in the final 100 laps. Don't abuse the race car. Take care of it. Somehow finish this race and get the victory lane. Well, Jeff Gordon was doing just that with 120 laps to go, and then the contact came between he and the 2 car. Gordon's car went spinning into the wall. He went a lap down, and they came on pit road to fix it. Because of the lucky dog, he's back on the lead lap, and now driving a wounded race car, showing about a 1/10 and a half off the leader's time. Jamie.
Well, another wounded race car is the 16 of Greg Biffle. They found the hot setup on Friday, qualified third, his best effort. But one thing after another, pit road penalties, things breaking on the car. He has found himself 67 laps down and out of chase contention at this point, guys. They just want to continue getting laps. They're staying on the racetrack as of now, Doc.
And the third member of the Richard Childress Racing Group is Clint Boyer in the 33 car. Clint told me before the race they were thinking maybe a 1-2-3 sweep here, the trifecta at Martinsville. Clint had a good car, and suddenly the car went away when he tagged the wall, and they had to go to the garage area and make major repairs. Chassis adjustment, they had broken a trailing arm. They spent 115 laps in the garage area. Car back on the racetrack, and he's showing in 38th position. Marty?
All right, thanks, Doc. And so now I got to update you on all the 12 chase contenders. As there you see the battle for first as the leaders have caught lap traffic. Kevin Harvick right behind the 7 of Robbie Gordon. And of course for Robbie, that is an all-important run because he's trying to keep that 35th and last guaranteed starting spot in the owner's points. Right now he is 34 points ahead of the 38 car driven today by Travis Kvapil. When they came in, that margin was only 5. But right behind Robbie, that's the battle for first with Kevin Harvick and Jeff Burton. And they've already had one confrontation. Will there be more?
Oh, I don't look for Jeff Burton unless he has to use him up. I don't think he's going to cut him any slack, but Jeff Burton's not just going to go up and hit just for no reason. He realizes the situation. I think he'll do his best to just battle this out.
I've been watching these lap times really close for quite a few laps. Looked like Harvick beat Burton by just 100th or 2 a lap, and then the last 10 laps or so, Burton has beaten him by 100th or 2. So you see right here, he's right up on the back bumper.
And Jeff Gordon going down a lap. He is running in 21st position. It would put him back in the lucky dog position if we got another caution. Behind these two, it's another 6/10 of a second to Denny Hamlin. He is a little bit further back. There he is trying to get around Jeff. Whoa, what happened to Burton?
Burton got a little loose getting in the corner there.
Hamlin gets around the 24 now.
Yes, hard as Burton's been driving into the corner, the tire pressure's built up here. Your brakes are fading a little bit. You have to be really careful not to get in there too hard now, get it to wheel hopping.
Everybody going around Scott's speed. That's putting Scott 2 laps down, as there's the top 3. Hamlin trying to close the gap, and he is on Burton.
And just behind Denny, Kyle Busch is wearing out Jimmy Johnson's rear bumper. Now you can see he's dove to the inside of him, but that's about the 3rd time that he's hit him, trying to take over that 4th spot.
And there's nothing that Harvick and Hamlin would like better than to see Kyle Busch get around that 48.
Yeah, that's 5 more points in their favor. He's on him again.
About as close as you're going to get to the bumper without eating it. Looking back from Jimmy's point of view, we were talking about the shade. You can see it in the background when they come through turns 1 and 2. Jimmy gets a little bit better run off of the corner this time as he's looking to get around teammate Jeff Gordon, and that allows Kyle to tuck right back up. While all this is going on, why don't we bring in Rusty, you guys down there, and Alan, what is your perspective? What are you seeing?
Marty, just sitting here as we cross the 50 to go mark. These drivers have been running under green for the most part since they pitted at lap 386. There was a quick caution and then another restart. So looking to go around the horn here and get some opinions as we watch Denny Hamlin close in on Jeff Burton for second about strategy. If the yellow comes out, and history tells us it's probably going to, what do we see? Pit stops or not?
Well, I think you're going to see some pit stops are really doing what might cause it. We've been going for quite a while right now, and I'm a little bit concerned about the right front tires. A lot of heat in the right front tire that can cause them to fail and blow out. We talked to, Tim Brewer showed us earlier the problems you can have with too much heat in the right front. Now, we've been going for a while. I think that can happen. I'm also seeing cars that these guys are lapping, really getting out of the throttle early. You can see a lot of cars are out of brakes. And right there, it looks like Jeff Burton, to me, guys, really doesn't have the efficiency with his brakes that he needs to have right now.
What's the likelihood, Rusty, though, you'd see a two-tire stop on a short track like this? I mean,
well, I'm not going to say you won't see it because these guys sure don't want to give up the track position, right? There's no doubt about that. But, I mean, if it happened right now, we'll say 45 or 40 some laps to go, you're probably going to see 4 tires.
Yeah.
But, man, it gets pretty close to the end. I don't know what's going to happen. 2 tires could be to win a move.
Yeah. Andy, you talked about that 31 car maybe building up the pressure in the left front and so on. We see him sliding back. What do you do if you're Jeff Burton's crew chief and the caution comes out sometime in the next 15 or 20 laps?
Yeah, if it comes out now, I'm the same way. I think I take 4 tires and free this thing up. It looks like the track is really tightened up, and Jeff Burton's car is not as good as it was. I would, if I was taught, I'd just put 4 tires on it and free it up and try to get enough, hope there's enough laps that you can get back. Now, if this, like you said, if it runs down 15, 20, 30 more laps where you only got a few laps left, that's when the decision gets tough on whether to stay out or maybe get 2. It's going to be a real tough decision.
I tell you what, I'm monitoring all these lap times. It's amazing how close Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin's times are. Burton's starting to fall off about 1/10 of a second now. And Denny Hamlin told us that he's going to win this race, Brad.
Yes, he did.
He circled this
His
thing.
lap times are good.
Right now, he's eating them up just a little bit at a time. That 11 car is really holding strong at the moment. Looks like he's not having any brake issues whatsoever, Alan.
Heard the report at the beginning of the day. This 11 car was set for the long run. We're having a long run now after 15 cautions. But again, Marty, history tells us, you said the numbers earlier, we're probably going to see the yellow before we see the checkers.
Well, and the one thing is we zero in on the 48 and the 18 still banging on each other here. That 48 car was set up for the short run, and it's proving out. Here we are in a long run, DJ. He is 4.6 seconds behind the race lead.
Yeah, he's just trying to hold on and hope that Kyle Busch doesn't spin him out right now is what he's hoping. But talk about Denny Hamlin. He told me on Friday, he said, if everything plays out, there's nobody better after 40 laps on the tires than what we are. He said, if we get a long green at the end, he said, I'll have something for him and we can win this race.
And obviously on the flip side of that coin, Andy, the 48 team's hoping in for a caution because
they like that short run. I saw Jimmy giving Kyle Busch the little high sign there coming off 4 a lap or 2 ago.
Let's go back a little bit further. The battle for 12th. A couple of teammates side by side. Juan Pablo Montoya and Jamie McMurray.
We've seen teammates racing all day here, hadn't we? They've just managed to find each other. They've got these cars all so equal out of the shops. I guess it's up to the drivers to settle this.
And a few of them haven't been very friendly to each other.
Yeah, they've been racing each other hard.
And after you've been out there 460 laps, you've about run out of patience for a day.
All right, so Jamie gets ahead of Juan now, so he's in the 12th spot. 13th and then 14th is A.J. Allmendinger. And a little bit further back, Paul Menard is in the 15th position. Leaders in traffic right now. That's Kenny Schrader right in front of the 29 of Kevin Harvick. Schrader is the last car on the lead lap right now, which would be bad news for Jeff Gordon if the caution comes out after Schrader gets past, because it would put Kenny in that lucky dog position. And that's the gap all the way back to the 48. Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch, and Kyle's still trying to wear him out.
Yeah, Kyle's doing everything but wrecking Jimmy Johnson here. He's pulling every move that he knows to try to make this pass.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Kyle on the radio, Kyle being Kyle. 36 laps to go. This is the longest green flag stretch of the day. Mike?
Yeah, guys, I was just going to say, we just heard Kyle's radio there. Obviously, he's pretty upset, feeling like the 48's holding him up. And he said a lot of other stuff we couldn't hear, by the way. That's how hot he is right now behind the wheel of the 18.
62 laps, now 63 of green flag running. And the Jimmy Johnson car is now 4.8 seconds behind the race lead.
Yeah, and this is what's frustrating and can be for a driver about this racetrack is you know that you're faster than that car in front of you. You're just not quite good enough at the place that it takes to be faster. As you can see now, Denny Hamlin is on the rear bumper of Kevin Harvick for the lead.
Harvick's got multiple cars in front of him there, and where do you pick a lane? Schrader's going underneath the 16 of Biffle, and here comes Hamlin taking a peek.
What a great job Kenny Schrader's done in this car all day. Doing a great job now. You know, we talked 6-8 laps ago that Harvick looked like he was going to put him a lap down, but Schrader's actually pulling away a little.
Started 38th, and he's still the last car on the lead lap, running in 20th for Kenny Schrader. Left side of your screen, Jimmy and Kyle battling for 4th, and here comes the battle for the lead on the right side. Hamlin's got a half a car length to go.
He may have a pick with a lap car here. He's getting a lot of room, pretty tight.
The 37 of David Gilliland gives him plenty of space. This will be settled in turns 1 and 2, perhaps. Still side by side.
Yeah, just not sure which lap in 1 and 2.
Hamlin's going to try it again. Each of them giving each other enough space for now.
Well, they know this could be for the win right here.
You saw 3 cars back, or a couple cars back, I should say. 3rd place, Jeff Burton. He has no say in this battle right now. That's Ryan Newman moving out of the way. He is multiple laps down. In fact, 42 to be exact. Running in 31st position. Meanwhile, Harvick trying to hold off Hamlin again.
Well, Harvick doing a great job holding that outside lane.
And he may get the advantage of the pick here coming up soon because Schrader is still right in front of these two. There's Kenny. And he's doing all he can to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, and he's running good enough to stay ahead of these guys, especially as they run side by side.
29 laps to go.
This could be helping Jeff Burton. He's running 3rd, and with these cars running side by side, he can, well, there he goes.
Denny Hamlin takes the race lead from Kevin Harvick. Now the question will be for how long?
Yeah, Harvick could see that he wasn't going to finish that or continue that. Now he's going to try to go back to the inside, but Hamlin gets a run off the corner.
24 lead changes. Last October, we had a total of 21. The most ever here, 25. That was all the way back in 1980. Left side of your screen, boy, Kyle is still trying to get around Jimmy.
I can tell you, if these guys look in their mirror, they're racing. Mark Martin is coming. He's driven this car up to 6th spot. So he'll be on these guys' bumper here shortly.
That is amazing because he was just out to lunch the first part of the race, getting knocked all over the track. You can see his car is beat up terrible, and now he's looking at a top 5 finish.
As they go down, there is Mark. There he is, right behind these two. He was in a lap 225 crash, got the free pass on lap 390, and you're right, DJ, right now running in the 6th spot, 5.8 seconds behind the race lead. Talk about never giving up. And look at Kyle Busch. The best news that Denny Hamlin could receive. Hamlin now the race leader, and Johnson back to 5th. And if this stays this way, the lead is cut to 6.
And it may go 5 more points right here. Mark Martin.
There it is.
This could be down to 1 right here. I mean, you have to wonder, does Mark Martin sit there behind his teammate not to take those? I don't think so.
No, heck no, man. Racing.
Chad Knaus is praying for a caution.
Joey Logano's the next car behind Jimmy Johnson now.
Mark completes the pass. Remember when Chad told Jimmy, you're on your own. I have no more answers. Right now.
Yeah, it's just a scenario they didn't want to see was this long green flag run at the end of the race.
There is your race leader. Denny Hamlin said he was going to win this race. He leads Kevin Harvick by half a second. Jeff Burton is 1.8 seconds behind the race leader. Burton has clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. He's led 134 today. I think Denny wouldn't care as long as he gets the win.
No, he's not going to get the maximum points, but if he can keep this up, he'll get the next best thing to it. You see, Harvick fighting.
Bring to the garage. It's going to blow the track up here in a second. All right. All right. Drag your feet right here. We need to wait on the 16. Just drag your feet real slow. You got 4 to go 5.
That could be a problem right there.
That's bad news.
Something coming out of that car.
Get down, get down, get down.
Bad news for Travis Kvapil. Remember, that's the car trying to get back into the top 35 in the owner points. And they are headed back behind the wall right now onto pit road. No caution on the racetrack. Remember when Denny, right before Kansas, shared with Brad the predictions that he was going to make, where he thought he needed to finish? Wasn't so good at Kansas, was almost good at California, and he said he was going to get it here. Look at Mark Martin. Woof, up to 4th. And it's strolling. Bang up my car, please. It runs better.
Got Ryan Newman slow on the backstretch there.
And he's got the 37 right behind him, and boy, Gilliland can't get around
him. Another gear. He was in earlier with the
after the 43 behind the 1 here. After the 43.
It looks like he may have a flat tire. Right front. Guys.
So it looks like he may make it, and we may stay green. Again, that's bad news for Jimmy Johnson. Johnson's now 6 seconds behind the race leader, and Denny Hamlin's pulling up on a lot of lap traffic. Next time by, there will be 17 laps to go. Juan Pablo Montoya is his next target. Montoya is the last car on the lead lap in 18th position. He slid back and is now vulnerable of going a lap down. Hamlin's lead over Kevin Harvick, 1.3 seconds. We can tell you Ryan Newman did make it to pit road. All that smoke you see, that's from Travis Quapple's car on pit road. Denny going underneath Montoya. Montoya not giving up the spot easy.
No, he's not, but you can see right there what's making Denny Hamlin so good. That car, even being pinched down on the inside, he's just able to drive it straight up off, not slip the rear tires at all.
Remember at the beginning of the race when this car dropped like a rock from the point position and everybody was sort of scratching their head saying, what's wrong? They have worked their way back. Here he is in control, 1.5 seconds ahead, 14 laps to go, next time by.
Well, there's nothing like having a crew chief that can certainly make all the right moves. Here comes Mark Martin for that 3rd spot around Jeff Burton.
This may be the best story of the day. It's got to make everybody feel good because of the kind of season that this team has had. And for them to take that piece of car, I don't know what shape to describe it in.
He's the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
He is just flying. He has picked up 14 spots since the restart. Mark is now up to 3rd, and he is the fastest car on the racetrack. You're right.
It's not quite enough laps left to catch Denny Hamlin.
Rusty, you got an observation on Mark?
I tell you, I do, Marty. It's a good thing for Mark Martin here. I've had this happen accidentally. He's had a lot of damage. His rear bumper is completely missing off the back of that 5 car. It lets that air get out from underneath the car. Also, the back of that car is jacked up in the air. Hey, there's nothing illegal about it. It was just a racing accident, but this is a good thing. It's actually made that car run so much faster. He's got more rear downforce. The air is getting out from underneath it. I watched it happen to Jeff Gordon at Charlotte, North Carolina. He took off and almost won that race when that happened.
Well, Rusty, next time by, 10 laps to go. Kyle Busch now gets around Jeff Burton as he is starting to fall back. And there comes Jimmy Johnson, and Johnson needs those points because as it stands right now, it would be right front down on Tony Stewart. Yep, Tony's got a problem. Can he make it to pit road?
He's going to have a gap right behind Mark Martin to get down.
Now remember what we said here as far as the last green flag stretch in 9 of the last 12 races has been less than 10 laps. There goes the race leader looking to get Kurt Busch a lap down in 16th position.
Marcus Ambrose has a right front tire down also.
These long runs, we're starting to see the attrition on that right front on multiple cars.
Ambrose may have a harder time. Well, he's got an opening right now to get down.
Jimmy Johnson has gotten into the 5th position. So there's Marcus trying to make it back to pit road. He's had a long day after starting on the outside of row number 1, and he successfully makes it to pit lane. Next time by, 7 laps to go for Denny Hamlin. He said he just wanted to be close entering the last 3 races where he had a 2nd at Texas, a 3rd at Phoenix, and of course a win at Homestead. There's Kevin Harvick, who has helped his points chances immensely, running in 2nd. As he fights his way through traffic. He's 2.2 seconds behind that man, Denny Hamlin. Jimmy Johnson, we can tell you, has gotten up to 5th place now around Jeff Burton. And that means if it holds these last 6 laps, the points margin will be down to 6.
I'm at the 5 to go.
You heard him call it. 5 laps remaining. 2.5 miles here at Martinsville.
Here comes Mark Martin now for second.
Yeah. He's going to get Kevin Harvick. Mark all over Kevin Harvick's back bumper. And this is one thing Harvick doesn't need. He needs those 5 points.
Yeah, he's not gonna get, he can't do anything about this. That 5 car is moving.
Mark Martin, what a story today. Side by side, down the front stretch, trying to take over the 2nd spot, and he's going to do it. So move Mark Martin 2.6 seconds behind the race leader, and next time by, there'll be 3 laps remaining. There is Denny Hamlin.
3 to go, 3 to go.
What a day this has been. He predicted he would win this race. He's won the last 2 here. And now, next time by, 2 laps, just 1 mile away from sealing the deal.
Hasn't been easy for him. They had to really work on it in practice, had to change some things overnight. Done a great job today getting that car in front.
Yeah, had to work on it today, as a matter of fact, because he dropped about 14 spots in that first run.
If we had had about 15 more laps, he might have had Mark Martin all over him, but he's going to have just 1 more lap to go.
And white flag.
For Denny Hamlin, he is looking for his 15th career win. Down the backstretch for the last time. He's going to pull the points championship to within 6. Here he comes through the final corner.
You're back, baby.
And he is back as he wins race number 6 of the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. A great run for Mark Martin. Harvick in 3rd. In 4th, it'll be Kyle Busch. And Jimmy Johnson rounds out the top 5.
There's Earnhardt in 7th.
Logano,
Great job adjusting the car. Best spin all day.
Burton, Keselowski round out the top 10. And for Keselowski, that's his first top 10 in his Sprint Cup career. Let's check in now with Dave Burns.
With Mike Ford now, and Mike, early in the race when Denny was going the wrong way, what was the level of concern?
Yeah, it was high. I mean, we had no idea what was happening. We took those tires off, and we had a left rear that we don't have an answer to. But it was really strange. Had a lot of buildup in it, twice as much buildup as the right front, which never ever have seen that. So we put tires on it, and the thing came back around, and we were good on the long run, and that's exactly what we needed at the end.
Mike, I'm hearing a lot of emotion here. Did you know you're only 6 points out of the championship now?
I don't care. You run like that, it doesn't matter.
They keep running like that, they're going to take the lead, Marty.
Well, the prior smallest points differential after 6 chase races, 15 when Tony Stewart led Jimmy Johnson. And as you pointed out, it is now down to 6.
Yeah, he cares.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he cares.
Jimmy Johnson had a good day. He finished 5th. You think you finish in the top 5, but man, the 2 other guys that you're really battling finish ahead of you, really closes the gap up. We'll go next week to Talladega, where Kevin Harvick won earlier this year.
And of course, that is always the biggest wild card race. Anything can happen, and usually does.
You got to love a guy, though, that tells you what he's going to do and backs it up.
Yeah,
Joe Namath did it the best, but Denny Hamlin did it this week.
Well, let's talk to the man who came in 3rd. How about it, Mike?
And that would be Kevin Harvick. What a day. Rolled off deep in the field. 36, charged your way to the front. We're in contention for the win much of the afternoon. How would you describe it?
Well, I just want to thank all these guys on the Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet, and I'm going to go down and give Clinton Boyer a big kiss on the lips. Those guys on pit road were just awesome today. Really kept us up front and in the race, and that's what we got to do. We kept the 48 behind us and 11 in sight, and that what everybody said was a 2-horse race, and we were right there in the middle of it. So it's a lot of fun right now. We got 4 more weeks. Looking forward to Talladega and just racing hard.
A big day for Kevin Harvick. Picked up 15 points in the standings. Still a lot of racing to go, though, Doc.
A lot of racing to go, and the feel-good story today is Mark Martin. What a job. 51-year-old Mark Martin driving like you're 21 years old. Where did that come from, Mark?
Alan Gustafson and all these guys at Hendrick Motorsports, man, gosh, that was so much fun. And it was such a bad day. I was running out of brakes at lap 30. And, you know, I thought this is going to be the longest day of my life. And these guys, this race team, and I want to thank eBay Motors for coming on board, and look forward to a lot of folks going there and maybe checking out a lot of their cars and parts there. And, of course, GoDaddy and .com and everybody that supports us, CarQuest and all those guys. It's a great run for us. We needed that. I ain't mad we didn't win. I'm glad we ran second, to be honest with you. We were 2 laps down, and I thought we were going to be 28th. So what an incredible race car, man. Another 20 laps, and we could have caught them. It was just fly. I've had people pass me before here, and I thought, dang, how do they do that? I see how now driving this baby.
Mark Martin, best finish of the year, second. Mike?
And another race at Martinsville and another solid finish for Jimmie Johnson. I know when you come here, you anticipate going to victory lane. It wasn't a win today, but it looked like a solid effort all around. How would you look at it?
Yeah, it was a good day. I mean, we were much stronger on the short run than we were in the long run, and the way this thing unfolded at the end, there was a lot of long runs, and we kind of lost a few spots. For a while there, I thought the 29, the 11, and us were just all going to ride together all day long, and then 11 there at the end got going and took off on one of the things. So, you know, solid performance, something, you know, we can't be disappointed in. Wish we were a little better, but it's a lot of racing left.
Another solid effort by the 48 team, but their championship lead now down to 6 points, Alan.
All right, Michael, thank you. Don't forget, Sports Center comes up next with more post-race coverage from here in Martinsville. You mentioned the championship standings, Michael. Let's look at how they rank after Martinsville. A gain of 35 today for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, and a gain of 15 for Kevin Harvick also. Now this thing is tightened up within 62 points for the top 3. Tell you what, it looks like it's a 3-man race right now.
Yeah, we've really got a race going now, Alan.
And down to victory lane is where we're going now, because Denny Hamlin's ready to celebrate on the Martinsville front stretch, Jamie.
4-time winner here. He's just sitting in the car, taking it all in. Everybody's celebrating. Popular win once again in the chase. 6th race, 6th different winner. Denny Hamlin. Denny, what a day. First of all, off the start, your car dropped back to 15th. You guys had 15 cautions today. Put in perspective the amount of patience it took to get here.
It was unbelievable. I don't think I've ever closed that well ever. It's just we kept working. We did not have a race-winning car all day until the very end, and Mike and those guys just adjusted, and the pit crew, they got me from 6th to 3rd on that last restart, and that was the key. That was bottom line. That was the key. And I just waited, and I was hoping the 31 and 29 would use their stuff up, racing each other. And I just was sitting there, trying to be patient with those rear tires, and just saved it for the end. And just a great run by this FedEx team. And got to thank everyone from Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing and Coca-Cola, Gillette, Wiley X, Sprint for their support. And these Martinsville fans, I can't say enough for them. It's unbelievable. I had already counted how many points I was going to be behind after this race.
Denny Hamlin has been dreaming about this moment. His crew chief, Mike Ford, walks in. That is team effort. Denny Hamlin, victorious here in Martinsville. Alan?
Well, Hamlin keeps the hot streak going here in Martinsville, and next week we may get a lot of answers as to how this championship's going to come down when it's off to Talladega for the 500-miler there. Texas, Phoenix, and Homestead to carry on the final 4 races in the chase. NASCAR.com/tickets or that number if you'd like to join us at one of those upcoming races. Don't forget, next week, Talladega on Halloween. The AMP Energy Juice 500, 1 Eastern ESPN, starting with NASCAR Countdown at noon Eastern on ESPN2. Don't forget, lots more post-race coverage coming up from here in Martinsville. Carl Edwards will join us in the studio. We'll hear from the boys in the booth. We'll hear from some more of the top finishers in the race. And we'll talk as well with race winner Denny Hamlin. That is all coming up next on SportsCenter. Hamlin is the winner and closes up the chase at